gonna get into a super total.
Yo guys, what's up? We are back now. We are watching
But
Brawl Stars Championship and its Zeta Division match is going on.
isn't it? It really
I don't even know that today was the match because I've just
in my
stopped playing Brawl Stars, so no notification for that thing. But yeah, we are back.
I feel like a lot of accomplished teams that are very aggressive will just push that very, very hard and try to take away and eradicate as much value from it as possible early on. So for Zeta to do that, I actually quite like it. It's quite bold and kind of banking on the idea that maybe Sunny Tin won't go with that approach. Sandy here, I mean, I can't remember the last time I've ever seen it, I've got to be honest, but I'm excited to see what Zeta Division 1 have got up their sleeve with it.
Yeah, what kind of flex is this? I mean, I otherwise, if there had not been a super totem, I would have been shocked that Shitetampo was able to get a super. That's the thing with Sandy, is his super is so indispensable. One kill on the bottom side, one on the top side. Totoro gonna try and get away without giving another super to Shitetampo, and manages to get a kill on the way as well. Charge up that super will provide for the next fight, but next super totem will come in as well. I really do like the super totem strategy. It's one that we used to see pretty much exclusively on Snake Prairie and also Shooting Star. Now to see it on Knockout before this game.
हेलो महेश बोला गोल्डी, तुमने तो ब्रॉल स्टार लीव कर दिया ना? हाँ तो ब्रॉल स्टार्स कौन खेल रहा है भाई? मैं थोड़ी खेल रहा हूँ, ये तो टूर्नामेंट चल रहा है, वो देख रहा हूँ। वही जीटा डिवीजन का है, जीटा डिवीजन का देखने में बड़ा मजा आता है, वही देख रहा हूँ।
Actually, and not a successful pinch, but a good pushback as well to force everyone onto the right side.
This is honestly what I love most about Zeta Division 1. They just just renovate the entire space. Who does that? Who thinks themselves, let's go in with Bo and Sandy, leave Sandy in the super tome, get the sandstorm down and just like be able to push up upon it. I've never seen a team think this way. And it's the reason why at the moment it's fair to say they're still the best team in the world. I mean, it's just one.
Oh.
But, however, you know, a strategy which now Sunny Tim have started to realize has strengths. Yeah, Shitapo's like, yeah, GG's guys. You started to realize that this is a bit of a tough one to deal with, and that is the right way to counter it. So now, with a 3 versus 2, maybe Sunny Tim will start to
good pressure.
Momentum of themselves here in Knockout.
He's the.
I like the approach from Sunny Tin because they realize, yeah, we got to run it up all on one lane. Though what does surprise me though is that that Sani Kama actually opted not to run Acid Spray, which would have been great for
nice
on the left side. There's another kill actually onto Shitetampo. This might be the first micro victor that we've seen by this entire match. A single round going their way, so they'll earn themselves a little bit more space. And okay, here's the adaptation. We put it on the right side, and it looks like they have caught on. Actually, serious aggression on the right side. That's the reverse psychology right there. We'll see though. Bowmine's coming in. Sunikama and Siotin kind of split apart. Doesn't seem to be that much of an issue for them. And Kenji does have his super, but he's not going to reveal it just yet. He's going to let them get comfortable. Now it's evident that he has his super, but still, control seems to belong to Sunny Tin for the time being.
Oh, what close.
Very adventurous super. Didn't quite pay off at all, really. There's a healing shade out of it that allows him to stay into position, but was definitely going for more.
Hello, Manu Brawl Stars. What's up?
The advantage in terms of the numbers and are trying to aggress Kenji and single him out on the left-hand side, but it's actually Moegoku who's the lower of the two.
2v2, come on.
Two, and that could turn things around very, very quickly, especially with the positioning power here to their advantage on the side of Zeta Division 1. However, down goes Kenji, and that's going to change things substantially.
Come on, 1v1.
Down he goes here.
Oh, that was very close. Nice.
Unbelievable stuff.
That was very close.
For Sunny Tin to start getting the momentum back in their favor because they were at a match point. It was looking very, very grim for them as well, and now they might be able to bring it to a set number 3.
Let's see. I actually quite like that positioning of the Super Totem. It's dangerous. It can have disadvantages here if the cannot get out of this space, but ultimately banking on the Sandy Super. I love that gadget there from Totoro there, just to eradicate it and used to great effect. Very rare to see that kind of thought process in play. But again, it's what I love about East Asia as a region. They just kind of think so diff, in all honesty. But Kenji now pinched in the rock and a hard place, and this is the difficulty with that super totem placement, is that they've got to get out of this position here, and it's going to allow Sunny Tin to start to close in the gap, and a lovely little drop the base there as well from Satorin there, and that's going to be a big problem that they've got to deal with. Yeah.
Oh, good cover, bhai.
Very difficult to do, but it can yield amazing results. And down goes Shitetampo, actually. Kenji also going to try and pop his head on the left side. Not going to work. And Moe Goku is all alone. In fact, he might actually opt to retreat into the poison.
Yeah.
He still decides to put up a fight. It's definitely more of a statement than anything, because he already had his super. He just didn't want to give it to the enemy too easily. Give a little bit more time for Zeta as a team
अरे क्या हो गया?
For this final round. They're going to go for a more aggressive super on the left side. Aggressive not in that it's going to push up the enemy, but that it is not conceding too much room to them, too much mid control.
गया stuck हो गया, मार दे.
A lot of control. We see Sandy Kama getting stunned by the bow mine once again. This time though, he's far away enough not to get taken down. Still a 3 versus 3 here. We'll see who's the first to fall. It might be Shitetampo if he can't get out of the way soon enough.
Kenji is going to come in clutch here, really. We need a big Tara pull. And I'm not going to blow my own trumpet, really said, but I did feel like this might not be as clear-cut as it might have seemed. Looking just the way that Sunnington had some resilience, resilience back in Heist, and now they are starting to make it work. But now the 3 versus 2 is going to put them to the test. Kenji has still got that pull, and that's a great thing to have on the side of Zeta Division 1. However, and that is a grace. Can Zeta Division 1 get out of this hole?
Mind you, we're still at match point, and now we're at like super match point, because there's all
अबे तीनों वही हैं, दिख रहे हैं सामने.
Just to get this next round victory, and they don't even need to pop down a bow totem, because they
come on
make it happen. Tara super.
Oh, all 3 connected.
Has the sandstorm ready to go whenever he so desires, and he's probably gonna wait till Sunny Tin actually have control of mid, because for the time being it doesn't appear to be so. More aggressive towards the right side, trying to push everyone back, and we also see the use of the Tara gadget as well to get visibility on everyone in those bushes. It's not going to come to much fruition. He's
nice,
which is basically a free win if it goes in one area. Here's a kill onto Totoro. We already saw Janet go down.
What?
Will survive for a little.
One shot.
Amazing dodges.
GG's.
Doesn't look like it. Elimination on the bottom lane on a Sandy Kama as well, and that's going to be the match victory for Zeta 1.
Woo.
I mean, it was again going to be a tough one from the very beginning to take down the champs, and that's still cheeky smile, nice to see as well from Zeta. And again, a team that are always so calm and collected and very
बढ़िया, बताना भी बहुत बढ़िया, bro.
Well, it's fair to say. So yeah, good start from them. Just definitely wasn't as smooth actually as I thought. I think actually Zeta Division 0 was slightly smoother in their matchup earlier today, but hopefully some good early, I'm not gonna say easy predictions, but no, it was looking like, you know, we were, at least from the casting desk side of things, pretty convinced that was going to be the result. So hopefully you're well on the way to earning your pin over its event at Brawl Stars to come off the back of those 2 games. But yeah, interesting stuff really sets, and I feel like Sunnington though had some great moments. I actually genuinely feel like they again got the rough side of the bracket this time round.
Yeah, that I believe to be absolutely true. And when it comes to playing versus Zeta 1, I think they did a good job as well, especially when it came to Knockout. Knockout, I think it was very understood by Zeta 1 was going to be a pretty inconsistent mode, and that it is, but also
East Asia, भाई मैं देखता नहीं East Asia.
The assignment, and they were able to adapt.
And 3R Gaming is in the 3rd position. वाह, 3R नाम है और इसलिए 3rd पे है. Wow.
It just seems that
well, where
to catch on, and that was simply too long. You can't really have that much of a margin of error versus a team like Zeta 1, and as unfortunate as that is, it's the reality, and it's one of the reasons why they're such a fearsome team.
Well, you know what it means, right? It means that we're going to have that banger of a semi-finals between Zeta Division 1 and Zeta Division 0 now, which we kind of hoped, looking at the bracket at the start of the day. That's going to be a tough one on the predictions side, I can tell you that for sure. Our next matchup, surely coming up after a short break, will be a Weenie sponsor versus Blood Diamond, and that's where we separated in terms of our predictions. You said that Blood Diamond are going to have their day today. I said, well, they haven't won a game yet. Weenie sponsor, of course, are a team which we know have had some good results. So we'll see.
वैसे तो मुझे वैसे भी कोई पॉइंट नहीं मिलने वाला है कि ऑलरेडी एज यू कैन सी सब रिवॉर्ड ले चुके हैं. I will not get any reward from that thing. विजय एपेक्स कब? विजय एपेक्स भाई दिन में ही खेलेंगे, कल खेल लेंगे. कल क्या है? आज सैटरडे है ना, ठीक है कल खेल लेंगे. WNS वर्सेस ब्लड डायमंड्स को वोट देते हैं. और अब भाई बहुत ही क्लोज, equal votes.
Depends at brawlstars.com. Make sure that you get predictions in now. I can already see them flying through. It's actually pretty close. I'm looking right now and it's got 52% on the side of Blood Diamond, 48% on the side of Weenie Sponsor Draft. So maybe, just maybe, in this small microcosm of hope, you might get your way today.
I've got a feeling I will, and it's up and running now. It's extremely fast. Dempsey going to use a gadget on the backside, break up the map, and I mean, it's not looking so good for BD so far as they are pinned sport.
Yeah, not the best of positions for sure, but in terms of the draft, I do actually quite like the Blood Diamond draft here. There's obviously a lot of control from the Tick, and the Ruffs over time will be able to soup up the entirety of the team, but it really is that Tick pick which is struggling on the side of Blood Diamond to get out of this position. But if they can just start to get some aggressive... if Milkrow can just start to escape this clutch of the situation, then maybe they can start to bring back some momentum. It is just the one takedown, it must be said, on the side of Weenie Sponsors. So, and now they're starting to escape that spawn. Plenty of time left on the clock. Blood Diamond can make a comeback here.
Yeah, Dempsey over this left-hand side now does eventually get the break. He did wait quite a long period of time to do that, Toby, and managing to still avoid some shots, get up into some close range, and managing to keep them in spawn still. Milkrow over the round side obviously still has some flying.
Now Carl is so strong
as well, and only a 1-star difference.
Very much in it. Lekin without star power or gadget,
when Gale's got the super,
bekari hai.
Well, the bans of Janet Sprout and Squeak on the side of Weenie Sponsor, Penny Squeak and Janet on the side of Blood Diamond. And I feel like that was a good idea, because had the Penny pick gone in the way of Weenie Sponsor, it'd be even worse for them. But one takedown is all it takes. Milkrow, if he goes in aggressively here, which he does, the flying hook, but the last hurrah counted in, and he thought better of that, and it came back. But Mesh still has pull here. Sandbags took down as a result of that very reason. Down as well, but can they hold on?
Oh.
It does seem to be the case. Weenie Sponsor, just about in the nick of time there, do take the first game.
Bit of a close one towards the end. Brock pincher on the left-hand side. A few
37 spectators.
different endings
What?
of the game, but they do manage to hold on.
Matlab?
They are going to fall one game behind, regardless of some eventual decent pushback. Just have to try and get a better start, dominate the tick, because if he's going to get control of this map,
अच्छा उसमें
and it looks like we might be seeing a lot more of the same.
भाई इन गेम उनके अलग-अलग
there with them.
बंदे जो हैं वो देख रहे हैं ना
Damage gear.
टीम इनकी ब्रॉल स्टार्स की
But he's not going to be able to do much with it in this position that he's in. And yeah, we need sponsors to know they're going to be
तभी तो मैनेज हो रहा है टूर्नामेंट
another ticket coming out. Honestly, they're cycling so well, and already Blood Diamond are back where they started in the last game, and they
come on
learn from these mistakes.
come on
Get more on the aggressive, especially with a brawler like Carl. You really have to go in on in my opinion, Russ. So if Milk Rear can swap lanes, and yeah, there you go, straight onto that, and potentially a takedown.
nice
Finally, something from Blood Diamond. As quickly as that, then Toby comes in.
nice
Punish for it. So this-
good comeback
I'm liking this so far as the mid control now fully with Blood Diamond.
Turnaround comes in and BDR ahead. Now they're looking like the ones who are going to start dominating. Toby falls low once more. Mameshi going to pinch in. Dempsey gets the takedown though. Kua coming at the left-hand side.
comeback or what
Push around the right, but Milkrio able to just completely spam down this lane. Toby trying to push out. Knows he has the knockback, so Carl can't quite go aggressive. But at the moment, he's so strong anyway.
Yeah, it's just looking great. Positioning power now. Much more with Blood Diamond as to take the high ground. Milk Rear, low HP there on that right-hand side. It's the blue star as well, so it's a consideration. But yeah, overzealous there on the tick side of things, and that's going to make it that 3 versus 2, which is not going to help out Winnie's sponsor. Good connection actually there from Toby. Oh my goodness me! The
oh comeback
as well, another pick up there as well. 4 stars differential now with the seconds remaining, but I don't think it's going to be enough time to be completely honest on this right hand.
nice oh actually a good comeback
Dream? No.
Hehe.
BD even up.
They had a dream, but Carl was just dicing too much that game. I feel like
अब सबने बाल ऐसे झब्बर लाल जैसे क्यों करके रखे हैं बिल्कुल यहाँ तक बिल्कुल आंखें तक बंद हैं
accepting defeats.
क्या चल क्या रहा है मतलब ये एरिया में सबके बाल ऐसे हवा में ही रखने का है क्या बिल्कुल यहाँ तक लटका लो
I mean, this is looking like it's a good reflection actually of the polls that we saw over at brawlstars.com. In the end, it was
oh nice
that went on the side of winning sponsor. 52% went with Blood Diamond, and if that last game was anything to go by, then it could work out better. Let's see if they go back into their old ways and find themselves back in that spawn, or whether they can try and hold firm.
oh nice
That control, because that's where this comp really can thrive. It needs to be in the mid. It's going to struggle to get out of spawn realistically with anything other than the Carl. So let's see as Milk Rear goes in here. Lovely connection.
GG's
Will cancel out the Carl. It's not enough though, however, as the 3 versus 1 will take its toll, and Toby.
oh nice good use of the card very nice
Was in a 1v3 situation, should I say, and goes down. BD looking a lot better now. 7-0 lead in the start of this game. Chake Sang just trying to push up. Can't make any moves. Gene Pool's there. Hits it. Great pull from Amesh. He does actually get the actual aim instead of just auto-aiming that. Milker.
oh what a waste
It's closed down.
still one lead of one
Toby there, bringing the ice, even making this a bit more evened out. Blue star with him as well, and has got super to hand. So much cover on the left hand side there. That's the thing with going against the Brawl.
आँख भी ढक लो फिर खेलो और क्या भाई
Gale's able to bring to the table
देखने की जरूरत क्या है
as well. The Carl on the top right here is keeping the pinch on Winnie's sponsor and keeping the pressure on, but then
एक अच्छा रीजन भी है अरे उसको मारा क्यों नहीं अरे मेरे आंखों के सामने बाल आ गए थे मेरे को दिखा ही नहीं
oh, great connection from Toby. Oh, can he get it?
oh come back
Stars and blue stars.
WNS is now come back in
Diamond now are taking the heat.
oh they are leading by 3 points now
Still only 3 stars though. Toby's
oh
they get the trades there, and the 4 star, the ball comes in, and the 4 star
what a comeback again by
can do anything.
Blood Diamonds
He's not going to do anything at this point.
GG's
Once more and take.
oh yeah
Not just the first set, Trav. The first set of the entire year for them. The first game of the entire year. Got to bring that back around just to highlight it more so, because genuinely, that's been a long time coming for Blood Diamond. Clearly, been putting some good work and utilizing the time to their advantage since MSI to really start to iron out some of their creases today. And yeah, that is exactly the start that they wanted.
nice comeback yes
can always find a negative.
मजा आ गया.
That was the first set. Well, yeah, but they've just won. Just let them have their moment, Ark. Let them have their moment.
I don't know. I can't.
BD started things off strong though, nonetheless. Some great plays in there as well. Wonderful pulls from Ameshu when needed, and some great clutch moments from Milkrio as well.
Imagine, Trav, if they get out of the next set on top, then they're going to get their first semi-finals of the year as well. That's going to be even better for them. I'm just going to keep going. No, I mean, honestly, I felt like the draft was always in Blood Diamond's favor. It looked a bit shaky at the beginning, but again, getting your thumbs warmed up is not always the easiest of things to do. And as soon as they started to find their momentum, their pace, and you know, feel like they were getting to win a lot of those matchups, then they started to ride off the back of that. And like, no, again, the key there really was staying out of that spawn trap. That was realistically where the pressure was applied by Weedy's sponsor. But of course, a new map mode will be coming in shortly, and that's a chance to kind of like take a bit of a time to have a little chat between the teams themselves and discuss where it all went wrong. But Dueling Beatles and Hot Zone will be that map and mode, and that's a tough map, to be completely honest. And I feel like as well, the way that we saw the Gene pick, the Gale pick rather, coming into play there previously, could well be on the cards here as well in Dueling Beatles. So looking for good bans here as well. Carl wouldn't be a bad ban to have here, in my opinion, just simply because we've seen Carl be so prevalent and dominant across the region since the balance changes. And yeah, we've seen a lot of good win rates going that way. A lot of ideas like Sprout could be considered. I mean, simply because it can shut down a lot of those lanes. So Penny, I think, is going to be right up there as well for me. Draft should be on the way as well. We're not sure necessarily whether we'll be able to show it on screen, but we'll talk through it as it comes in.
सुपरसेल अब नया गेम्स क्यों नहीं निकाल रहा? इतना तो निकाल दिए.
Wide diameter and
Clash Mini.
Pickaxe does have it. Covers, you know, a really solid amount of the lane here as well. You
और कुछ 3 गेम निकाले थे ना, मेरे को तो पता भी नहीं है भाई. सुपरसेल ने अभी 3 गेम निकाले थे और कुछ तो अभी टेस्टिंग में ही है.
Today, Carl has been slipping through so many drafts, so and it just always proves.
बूम बीच फ्रंट क्या था, वो भी एक गेम था.
I don't get it. I've got to be honest. I feel like it's simply because
तो ऐसे बहुत सारे गेम निकाल दिए उन लोगों ने ऑलरेडी.
win rates shining.
वो आता है कि अभी उन गेम्स का ग्लोबल लॉन्च नहीं हुआ है, इसलिए लोग सोच रहे हैं कि गेम नहीं आ रहे हैं.
More often than not, Carl is reigning.
लेकिन हाँ, ये गेम आ रहे हैं.
So, like, we're seeing a lot of drop-off of brawlers like, you know, Eve as a result of that. Not so much on the rough side. Which
ये सब अच्छे नहीं है, तो भाई अच्छे से क्या मतलब होता है? अब सुपरसेल ने यही बनाए हैं, तो अब 2-3 साल तक यही चलने वाले हैं. उसके बाद फिर नई टीम नई गेम्स पे वर्क करेगी.
And Squeak, and I think that's pretty wise. I mean, Bonnie here as well will be a great mid choice, and one that can keep a lot of distance whilst staying aggressive, and then has the ability to go in even more so. So Blood Diamond banning out Penny, which again,
भाई इसकी उंगलियां कितनी लंबी हैं.
perfect for her turret. Janet as well joining those bans, and Byron. And what are your thoughts on Byron? We went
Flash Mini ठीक है फिर भी.
so dominant. What are your thoughts on Byron, Trav?
I think regardless of the nerf, he's still very much got a place in the meta. It was
भाई मैंने तो खेला नहीं है, तो मुझे कोई आइडिया नहीं.
decrease. So I definitely think he's still got some place in the meta, especially on maps like this where you need to keep control of a hot zone, and you can just spam heals in a tank or something like a Carl's back who has a decent amount of HP. It's always going to be really strong, no matter how much you nerf it. He's got so many values that make him really good.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's been reined in a little bit. We're kind of seeing a little bit less of Byron, but at the same time, just interesting to see that Blood Diamond value is still in terms of the bans. And I do agree with it as well. I feel like it would be a good choice to have here on this particular map. But let's see. I wouldn't mind seeing here a Stu myself. I still feel like the speed zone has got a big place on this particular map, or a Pam as well. It'd be a great thing to have, to be able to really utilize those L wall shapes there, and just kind of either have the turret on your side or go super aggressive and place it on your opposition's side. And we don't see this through the speed zone. Bell coming in is a great counter to the Lola here, so Dems is going to be cautious of that bow. Always a great thing to place those mines into the bush and eradicate that unpredictability. And Carl, yeah, I mean, we're still surprised to not see Carl being banned, but I think no surprises to see him being picked.
Man, BD's comp again. I just feel like they've kind of just picking really, really well. They managed to get the call, and especially against this matchup versus the Ruffs on the left-hand side, he should be dominating this every day of the week, and it seems like they are. I know you love the Lola pick. I love it too in the mid as well. Dempsey, regardless of this Bell being here, he wants to try and force this 1v1 matchup in the mid.
Wow. Yeah, Lola for me is always a good time, good product to have. All marked up there was Milk Rio and punished for it accordingly. Mines triggered nicely. Gotta be said by winning sponsor. No one.
26-26. Now they are leading.
On the right hand side, and I'm actually down to 12 HP as a result of it. Mid control though, still a winning sponsor, but for how long now? 3 versus 1. Gotta say though, the Stu players are on point. Lola's ego goes down, and that is a saving grace for Blood Diamond.
Blood Diamond are going to place down those mines on the right hand side. Keep Toby out the mid as much as he can, just placing down the right there. Mameshi trying to maintain control, very even in terms of percentage.
भाई चल क्या रहा है, बहुत क्लोज है ये माला भी.
So
Brawl Stars 3D हो जाएगा तो कितना मजा आएगा. ये 3D ही तो हुआ है भाई, 3D ही तो हुआ है ये. ऑलरेडी 3D है. अगर आपने नहीं देखा तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि उनका टाइटल ये था जब लॉन्च किया था, Brawl Stars goes 3D. इससे पहले तो और खतरनाक चलता था 2D वर्जन में, लाइक वो कौन सा गेम आता था ना, टेट्रिस टाइप का, वैसा चलता था पोर्ट्रेट स्क्रीन में. भाई बहुत ही क्लोज.
Lose the control. Good shots there from Toby onto Mameshi. Oh, gets the pick up as well. Let's see now whether Milk Rio can stay on his feet, or Dempsey as well. The ego, yeah, forced that one out, but there's bell shots coming.
Oh, 89.
Fighting back.
The Nestex really, and Mameshi.
चल क्या रहा है? अभी कोई शॉर्टी नहीं, कौन जीत रहा है?
Closing down quite quickly as well. Dempsey needs to make a push out. Cheng Chang is low down this right hand side. In comes Milk Rio. The spins on.
Oh, again come back. 9900 GG's. और ज्यादा क्या अब जब मतलब ब्रॉलर बाहर निकल के आके 2 गोली मार के जाएगा क्या? बोलेगा अरे मेरी गोली खत्म हो गई भैया, गोली दइयो. गोली लेना है तो अच्छा ला यही दे दे. टेबल में चप्पल फेंक के मार दूंगा. बाहर निकल जाएगा, आपकी चप्पल लेके जाएगा और चप्पल फेंक के मारेगा. ये ले चप्पल.
Well, I mean, you might not be eating your words. I think me and Ready Set are going to be force-feeding you your words at this point. Because, I mean, this is just so good from...
Oh, बहुत ही close.
Off strong again. Dempsey pushing up. Carl might have gone down, but Chase Sang and Toby quite firmly, quite low down this left-hand side.
I always say, like, I'm always right. I'm going to have to change my my perspective on life now, it seems, which is a shame. But, I mean, let's see. Let's see at the moment. It's a great start. Got to be said from Blood Diamond. Dempsey is marked up, however. The positioning control being taken back nicely by winning sponsor. The mine's down, triggered, but that is going to buy some time as now Dempsey takes more of that mid-roll again. And I'm sure it's a matter of time before Mameshi will place more mines on the back right-hand pocket. Yeah, the stun there. Painfully so for winning sponsor who need to take back control. They've got to start to bring back the advantage in their favor. They want to stay in the competition, or it will be Blood Diamond going straight through to the semi-finals.
Yeah, eventually BD are going to be pushed off though now.
Oh, put a team down. Oh, क्या बात है?
Maybe could have used that
Lola
on respawn when he did come back in, but Milk Rio, he's got a flying hook, he's got his super, this aggressive ability that he has now is going to put We Need Sponsor in a bit of a cautious position, but they still managed to keep hold of this zone. Mameshi just going to be playing for his mines down this right hand side, waiting for this bow totem to give it to him.
Yeah, I like the sandbags there from.
और 55 बहुत close आ गया था, मेरे को लगा बराबर हो जाएगा. Oh.
But now as the mines go down, but that could be a bad time to place them because
good comeback by WNS. We need sponsors. Are we also need sponsors? Come on, subscribe करो.
As Blood Diamond come back,
और
the best opportunity that We Need Sponsor have had so far.
मेंबरशिप भी ले लो भाई. यही बोलेंगे अपन तो. नर्फ के पहले लोला तो अनबीटेबल थी. यही तो दिक्कत है. नया ब्रॉलर आता है, इतना ज्यादा ओपी होता है कि लोग खेलना शुरू करते हैं, मजा आने लगता है उसके साथ, तभी ये लोग उसको नर्फ कर देते हैं. उसके बाद बोलते हैं बैलेंस चेंज. बहुत ज्यादा ओपी हो गया था. अरे भाई ओपी था इसलिए तो मजा आता था. अब तुमने उसको गोपी बना दिया तो कौन खेलेगा? उसका बेस्ट एग्जांपल मैं बताऊं तो भाई ग्रॉम भाई जब आया था क्या ही मजा आता था, क्या मस्त थ्रोअर था। उसके बाद उसको इतना बेकार कर दिया, इतना बेकार कर दिया कि कोई भी आके उसको तमाचा मार के चला जाता था।
in a position which they really find themselves struggling a little bit, and let's see now whether they can hang on longer as Milk Rhea now takes the mid control, and shots now from Quirk coming in. Dempsey now as well low, but Milk Rio, double takedowns, the trade is there, but control still Blood Diamond, and now it's just Dempsey. Will he be able to hold firm? He's doing pretty well so far. Marked up now by Toby. Tang Sang will help with the pickup, and now a chance to even out the scoreline.
Mesh coming down the right hand side, and we need Spot to do have control, but that was a great shot by Milk Rio. Falls to another one. Shakes retreating now, but he basically might as well be respawning at this point because they're quite firmly in spawn. Mameshi is going to go down though, but Milk Rio taking some control over the right hand side for him. We're pushing up, but sliced once more by Milk Rio. He's coming in with the spin, doesn't go for it, chooses against his with his better judgment to not go in there. Comes in, and BD are looking very, very good.
बहुत ही बढ़िया कंट्रोल, 70 कर लिया इन लोगों ने, 50% लीड। अब वर्स्ट हो गया ग्रॉम, तो वही तो बोल रहा हूँ, जब आया था तब तो भाई क्या ही मजे आते थे उसको देखने में, खेलने में। उससे यार उसको इतना बेकार कर दिया कि बोले कोई कौन ही खेले, मतलब उसको क्लोज रेंज में कोई भी मारता है। क्लोज रेंज छोड़ो, लॉन्ग रेंज वाले भी मार के चले जाते हैं भाई। फिर जब तक उसका अटैक ऊपर से नीचे आता है, जब तक तो दूसरे बंदे उसको 3 तमाचे मार के लुढ़का देते हैं।
Eat your words right now. Just start munching out. Just start munching. BD managing to pull it through for me and Ready Set, and I hope all of you who questioned us at home as well on brawl.esports.com, you need to get yourself sorted out, because you've always got to trust me, not Ark. I'm always right.
Again, sometimes blips occur. Today is just one of those days. It was very close, we've got to say, in terms of the prediction scoreline. It was again, I think it was like 49% with winning sponsor, 51% for Blood Diamond. The closest predictions of the day so far, and definitely that is going to be the one that may have moved.
Rising Sun Esports versus New Face. Rising Sun Esports का नाम सुना हुआ है, तो मैं उसके साथ जाना चाहूँगा।
It's going to be even more interesting as we see how this one's going to go, but yeah, I mean, it's great to see development again. This is what I love about double points, because now that Blood Diamond have had a victory at the perfect time, to be completely honest, it's going to give them a huge lift. They're going to be rewarded so much more so for that adaptation, that's
New Face. New Face represents Korea
team, so it's one of
okay, if you want points, choose New Face.
well, obviously still today to come. I might be a bit more convinced on Blood Diamond's performance.
Yeah, we can't forget as well, these lower bracket teams are staying away from Zeta Division until the finals. So there's a big chance of making it even further if they're able to defeat a slightly different opponent from those two in the lower bracket semi-final. Not lower bracket, but the lower portion of the bracket.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, going to be moving on shortly to Rising Sun Esports up against New Face. And again, this is a team which we, speaking of course, Rising Sun Esports, have had some really fantastic months. I mean, they've had grand finals, they've got a lot of experience behind themselves, and I think that we were unanimous in our predictions earlier to start with them. New Face, however, definitely are definitely the underdogs, I would say, in this position here, and I'm curious to see what they're going to bring to the table here today, especially because yeah, it's not it's not a position which they ever tend to find themselves in. So Rising Sun is going to be a big challenge for them today if they want to make that semi-finals.
Yeah, new face, bit of a new face, you could say, couldn't you, really?
Yeah,
because
you could say.
I don't believe we've seen them before. I think that's kind of the thing behind the team name. I'm not too familiar with too many of the players, to be honest with you.
अब ये क्या
kind of sided with
हैकिंग करने बैठा है क्या? हुडी भी पहन लिया है, मास्क भी लगा लिया है, कम्बल भी ओढ़ लेता, कम्बल ओढ़ के आराम से खेलता, सो के बिल्कुल टेंशन ही क्या थी। आंखों में चश्मा और लगा लेता, बिल्कुल लगता है कि हाँ भाई कुछ दिखाना ही नहीं है।
going out in the semis to Zeta Division 0, but again, they went on to win the entire thing. So I think if you're going to lose to anyone, probably best you lose to them. You know, it's one of those teams which have got a lot of perseverance in all honesty. And
Hacker in the house. और क्या भाई?
in March, but they did get reversed.
काला चश्मा और लगा देते हैं उसको.
Saw Zeta Division 1 not win that month, and ironically enough as well, they got the reverse sweep over Winnie's sponsor in the semis that same month. So it was kind of a one of those maybe calmer moments you could let's see today though. Rising Sun, as they get geared up to take on their opposition, I'm sure will not be you know, underestimating them by any means. I'm sure they'll be treating it like anyone else, as a serious threat. The roster for new faces, Deft, Bono, and Cooney. So I'm looking to see from them first and foremost how they draft.
हैक करके जीत गया तो
A firm strategy.
वही तो उसने तो पहले ही बोला था कि भाई हम तो हैक करना देखिए.
What's to come and dodge and grasp on the meta for this region. Are they an aggressive team? I have so many questions. I'm looking forward to seeing the answers.
Well, that's the thing. We have the questions. Rising Sun might also have those questions as well. They might start to question themselves, question their drafts, especially if, you know, new face are a bit more unorthodox than the majority of teams they're used to facing in these monthly finals, because they're not going to know too much about them, especially if we don't either. So it could come as a bit of a surprise and take them by storm.
Yeah, I'm sure like in like the kind of deeper undergrounds of the community region, they're probably well aware of each other on some level, and maybe even come across each other in various tournaments. But I think some bans could be coming in now for the first game. We've got Rising Sun going to be banning out kind of Rough, Squeak, and Penny. On the other side of things, they have New Face banning out Penny, Gale, and Colonel Ruff. So both sides really valuing that Colonel Ruff's ban, and let's see how that one fares. The map, of course, and the mode, I can let you know also, as again, we're having a few technical issues today if you are just joining the stream, but we are working through it as we go.
अच्छा चलो जैसे बोला मैंने चालू करो उसने बोल दिया भाई we are having technical issues.
Still, it's been a long weekend for me, Trav. I know that you noticed. Came back very late last night on the flights, and of course, Blood Diamond today taking me by surprise. It's going to be, I think, the set one.
Brawl Stars इंडिया में फेमस क्यों नहीं हो पाया? तो ये Brawl Stars को एज अ ई-स्पोर्ट्स कभी प्रमोट ही नहीं किया गया, पैसा दिखाया ही नहीं गया. PUBG BGMI क्यों फेमस हुए? क्योंकि उनने पैसा दिखाया. देखो हम इतने लाख का टूर्नामेंट कर रहे हैं फॉर इंडिया, इतने लाख का टूर्नामेंट कर रहे हैं फॉर दिस रीजन, इतने करोड़ का हमने ये किया. BGMI हुआ, फ्री फायर हुआ, उनके टूर्नामेंट्स या उनकी रीच जो थी वो इंडिया में ज्यादा थी. फ्री फायर को तो इसलिए फायदा हुआ क्योंकि PUBG पूरा बैन हो गया, उसको नेगेटिव रिव्यू मिले. लेकिन PUBG इसलिए फेमस हुआ क्योंकि ऑलरेडी लोगों ने उसको दिखाया कि भाई कितना बड़ा गेम है. इंडिया के लिए अलग से उसका पूल रहता था, इंडिया के लिए अलग से उसका टूर्नामेंट स्लॉट था, पूरा इंडिया अलग से खेल सकता था. इसमें इंडिया है ही नहीं, इसमें ईस्ट एशिया, नॉर्थ एशिया ऐसा वाला सीन है भाई. लैटम, न्यूजीलैंड, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, ये सब जोड़ दिया है इनने, उनको मिला के एक स्लॉट है. यहाँ लोगों को पैसा चाहिए होता है भाई. अगर तुमको फेमस होना, पैसे तो प्रमोशन भी नहीं करते हैं इतना ज्यादा. बट एज कम्पेयर टू PUBG कोई टूर्नामेंट का अमाउंट ही नहीं है देखा जाए तो.
Very convincing start from Rising Sun, very much so. And again, just maybe some inexperience or some nerves coming through from New Face, who, you know, to be fair to them, I would be probably the same. I would probably be the same going up against a team like Rising Sun. So they are going to have to be much more aware of Aaron, I feel. That pick's a very smart one to be able to roll in, and same with the Sun on the ball, to have that damage gear at the right time goes a long way. But it does feel, oh, what a stun there from Rush. The way that he went in there was perfectly timed. But yeah, again, you can't really leave tanks here on the safe with damage gear. That's kind of like the thing that both teams are going to have to show more awareness of.
It comes the jump once more. He is level 4, but he gets another jump as well. This guy's avoiding everything, and he's doing everything as well. His teammates aren't really assisting too much until now, though. That level 4 going to get some good splash damage onto safe, hitting the opponents around it. Aaron as well has his roll, so he does have that offensive ability now that he's choosing not to use just yet. Flow comes in, roll as well, jump onto the Barley from Wyochi. Aaron's going to survive, damage gear activated, and Wyochi's there as well to support.
Defense needed now as push coming in from Rising Sun is a good one, and the search stacks are there. That's a danger, and shooting now very, very low. Aaron has roll as well. This is a good, solid push, and there's a lot of low HP on the side of Newface here. And if Wyochi gets on this safe and jumps, it's going to be all. He's actually going to go in. He's going to stay back and reserve himself. He can probably.
Oh, बहुत ही close.
Remaining damage. I think that's the play. He goes in now. Will he get the damage? That's the thing. It's a good defense. So
Oh, ये हाँ बीजेएमआई ही 1.5 करोड़ का हो रहा है। बहुत सवालों का पूरा साल का होगा इतना तो शायद।
I honestly think the teams have just agreed to do it more.
हाँ भाई एक 1.5 करोड़ तो भाई बीजीएमआई का सिर्फ इंडिया के लिए हो जाता है, सिर्फ इंडिया के लिए। उनका वर्ल्ड लीग का अमाउंट इतना था, 5 से 7 करोड़ के आसपास उनका टोटल वर्ल्ड का था शायद, अगर ज्यादा बता रहा हूँ तो भी उससे कम ही होगा। दूसरी चीज ये है कि काफी सारे बड़े क्रिएटर्स जो हैं वो फ्री फायर को और बीजीएमआई पबजी को ज्यादा खेलते हैं या प्रमोट करते हैं, बट एज कम्पेयर टू ब्रॉल स्टार्स कोई भी बड़ा प्लेयर इसको तभी खेला है जब उनको पैसे मिले। लाइक मिथ पैट हुआ, मॉर्टल हुआ, स्काउट हुआ, वो लोग ये गेम तभी खेल रहे हैं एक ही कंडीशन पे जब उनको पैसा मिला था, स्पॉन्सर मिला था कि भाई स्पॉन्सर्ड है, आ जाओ भाई खेलते हैं, तभी उनने एक बार स्ट्रीम करी है। नहीं तो उसके बाद फिर ना उनने ब्रॉल स्टार को छुआ है ना एक बार भी खेला है, सिर्फ एक ही बार खेला जब उनको स्पॉन्सर मिला हुआ था। एज ए स्पॉन्सर उनने स्ट्रीम करी थी, चाहे वो स्काउट हो, मिथपैट हो, मॉर्टल हो, या फिर इसके अलावा भी किसी ने किया हो तो मुझे आइडिया नहीं है। उसके अलावा उनने कभी ये गेम खेला भी नहीं, मुझे सिर्फ एक ही बार याद है जब इन लोगों ने ये गेम खेला था।
At the start, the ball just fed him instantly level 2. He popped a gadget, got some more shots on, and he was basically level 3 like 20 seconds in. So that's just incredible plays from him. Slightly questionable from the ball.
और प्रॉब्लम ये है कि उनने खेला और स्पॉन्सर किया वो तो ठीक है, लेकिन उसको इस तरीके से प्रमोट नहीं किया कि इसको लोग खेलना शुरू करें कि हाँ भाई चलो खेल के देखते हैं हम भी। क्योंकि उनने एक बार खेला और बस काम खत्म, उसके बाद वापस से वो लोग बीजीएमआई या पबजी खेलना शुरू कर दिए या फिर कोई और गेम खेलना शुरू कर दिए, तो बस काम खत्म हो गया। मैं भी बीजीएमएस बोल रहा हूँ, एक टूर्नामेंट ही 1.5 करोड़ और पूरे साल का आराम से 5-6 करोड़ होगा अनऑफिशियल एंड ऑफिशियल मिला। वही तो बता रहा हूँ भाई, इंडिया वालों को पैसा दिखता है, ऊपर से अगर जो लोग प्रमोट कर रहे हैं वो भी इस तरीके से प्रमोट नहीं किए कि कह सकेंगे हाँ भाई ब्रॉल स्टार्स बहुत अच्छा गेम है, अगर हम एक बार खेल भी रहे हैं तब भी देखो खेल के, तो ऐसा कुछ लगा नहीं मुझे। क्या हो तो उन लोगों की स्ट्रीम एक बार जाके देखो, उन लोगों ने सिर्फ एक ही बार खेला है, वो भी तभी खेला है जब स्पॉन्सर्ड था तब, इसलिए आज भी उनकी स्ट्रीम पे कोई जाके ये थोड़ी बोलता है कि जाओ चलो यार ब्रॉल स्टार खेलो भाई, ब्रॉल स्टार खेलो, ये खेलो वो खेलो। कोई भी स्पैम करता तो यही करता, बीजीएमआई खेलो, पबजी खेलो। कुछ लोग ज्यादा ये स्पैम कर देंगे भाई फ्री फायर खेल के देखो अच्छा गेम है, कोई भी ये जाके ये नहीं बोलता है कि भाई ब्रॉल स्टार खेल के देखो, ना ही वो लोग बोलते हैं हाँ भाई ब्रॉल स्टार अच्छा गेम था खेलो भाई तुम लोग भी खेल के देखो। उनने बस एक बार खेला क्योंकि वो स्पॉन्सर था, उसके बाद ने उस गेम को खोल के भी नहीं देखा। अब मुझे ये लगता है कि ब्रॉल स्टार्स ने जितना खर्चा मिस्टर बीस्ट के वीडियो को स्पॉन्सर करने में लगाया था सिर्फ एक पर्सन के लिए, उससे अच्छा वो लोग अगर इंडिया का या एशिया का मार्केट और कैप्चर करने के लिए वही पैसा इधर यूज कर लेते हैं एज अ प्रमोशन, कुछ बड़े क्रिएटर्स को
deal with it rather.
हफ्ते में एक बार मतलब महीने में 4 बार ऐसा स्ट्रीम करने को लिए बोलते हैं और उनको पैसे देते हैं तो ज़्यादा उनको ऑडियंस मिलती है एज कम्पेयर टू जस्ट एक पर्सन को जो कि मिस्टर बीस्ट थे, उसको पैसा देके उन लोगों ने इतना खर्चा किया क्योंकि उनको फ़ायदा तो हुआ लेकिन सिर्फ एक महीने का। अगर आपको मैंने स्टेट्स भी दिखाए थे, अगर मेरा वीडियो जाके देखो उसमें दिख जाएगा, मैंने दिखाया हुआ था कि कहाँ कितना उनको प्रोमोट हुआ। सिर्फ 2 महीने उनके डाउनलोड इतना ज़्यादा गया, 3 गुना ज़्यादा बढ़ गया डाउनलोड्स, लेकिन उसके बाद वही 3 गुना जो लोग आए थे उसमें से 4 गुना लोग वापस चले गए। मजे की बात ये जो ऑलरेडी 1% लोग थे वो भी चले गए।
Range diff between the Lola and the 8-bit. Bonnie as well coming in the lane is going to be an interesting thing for Rising Sun to consider, but Aaron just going straight in. I love this, bring up back, yeah, a great ability there to bring now is in a really great spot. Everyone low on the side, New Face, and the walls are coming crumbling down, Trap.
I mean, it's not every day you see Carl completely dominating a Gale lane, especially when you get into this close vicinity. You need to be getting your supers, you got the gadgets, knockbacks need to be raining down, but it's just domination from Rising Sun here.
भाई बीच में तो इन्होंने पूरा कब्जे कर लिया है, 8 हो गए हैं ऑलरेडी
now. So I hope she's got to be a little bit cautious, very low though, and taken down. And
और प्रॉब्लम हुई इस गेम में, मैं अगर देखा जाए तो 8 बिट्स उसका सुपर रिचार्ज नहीं हो पाया। That was a big difference.
Shaman's good though. It's going to force the gems over to the Carl, but it's, to be fair, not the worst gem carrier. They are split. That's the thing. Aaron, if he goes down, will reset things for New Face to have a bit more of a second shot at this. But time is ticking, and I don't feel like it's going to happen. As Aaron dancing around, the ego there as well popped, and
easy.
It's going to be match point then already for Rising Sun as quickly as that.
Doesn't seem they've got too much to worry about here. Honestly, I like both comps. They just seem to play it a lot better. And
yes, 8-bit super so important. Yes.
That just shows the kind of, you know,
the इस वाले गेम में तो उनको मिल नहीं पाया, शायद इस वाले में मिल जाए। उसके बाद फिर वो जहाँ पे घूम रहा है उसको वहाँ पे प्लेस करना है अपना सुपर वाला डब्बा जो भी है।
Genuinely, when you see like solid drafts and solid awareness of meta, it really just speaks for itself, and that's what I love so much about the draft format as well, because ultimately you can't really ever say, oh, you know, the better team on the day wins if the meta knowledge is there. Nice pop of the gadget there again from Wild. She is scrutinizing
again. उसको फिर से नहीं मिला super.
Gems in the pockets, a little spin there as well.
चलो बॉनी का तो समझ में आता है कि बॉनी तो अपना भाई सुपर बचा के रखेगी, लास्ट में एकदम से कूदेगी जिसके पास सबसे ज्यादा जैम होंगे और उससे जैम लेके वापस आ जाएगी लाइक दिस। ओह नाइस, और आई गेस खत्म। और ये पूरा गेम खत्म हो गया, लेकिन 8-बिट को सुपर नहीं मिला भाई। अब फाइनली अब सुपर मिला है जहाँ पे उसको रखना था, लेकिन कोई फायदा नहीं, जिंदा ही नहीं है बंदा, क्या ही करेगा। चीज एंड विद दैट they goes on to semi-finals.
Rising Sun looking extremely fierce today.
Yeah, it looks so pleased about it as well. We got some smiles, some peace signs in chat. Love to see it. It's just great to see the happiness for this team to be moving forward and thoroughly deserved.
भाई हैकिंग कर लेते, कुछ तो कर लेते। पहले से मुंह छुपा के आया था, बोले हम तो हारने वाले हैं, कोई हमको पहचान न ले, इसलिए पहले ही मुंह छुपा लेता हूँ।
Gameplay, I said they play.
क्या भाई, क्या होगा इस देश का?
Gameplay or individual mechanics, but they just seem to crumble under the pressure.
भाई इतने पॉइंट्स मुझे मिल रहे हैं, आज ही कैरी फॉरवर्ड हो जाते। हर मैच का मेरा सही निकला है तुक्का।
We see it time and time again from teams like SK and EMEA and others where, you know, under pressure they're able to bring it back, actually more so sometimes than just kind of being able to, you know, have their sort of like ability to just walk around the map and do their thing. I mean, for me, New Face, no, I've got promise. Again, that's what I love about East Asia as a region.
What's the news, bro, in the game?
The semi-finals or the quarterfinals, like, really are still fantastic, and the knowledge is all there. It's simply that maybe just need to find themselves in those positions more to be able to learn how to deal with them moving forwards.
I think so too. I mean,
Hello Shagun, कैसे हो आप? How are you doing?
Teams like Zeta, who are going to be absolutely thriving under it in this region, whereas teams who usually
क्या चल रहा है आपका?
these quarterfinals are the ones who can't handle it as well as a team like Zeta can do, and that's why these better teams do thrive, and that's why we see a lot of sweeps in this region in those early phases, because there are like around about 4 very experienced teams.
अब तो इंडिया में e-sports टीवी पर आ रहा है और क्या ही चाहिए, वो भी BGMI की वजह से। वही बात है, जिसकी वजह से आप फेमस हो रहे हो, लोग वही खेलेंगे ना। कोई ब्रॉल स्टार्स क्यों खेलेगा? और उसकी कोई ऑडियंस भी नहीं है। मेनली देखा जाए तो लोग पैसा कमाने के लिए खेलते हैं YouTube पर, लेकिन जब कोई आएगा ही नहीं देखने के लिए उसको, तो दूसरा गेम ही खेलेंगे। I am good. What about you? I am also good, Shagun. Thanks for asking.
Let's see how that one fares coming up shortly, but
सीधी सी बात है कि अगर कोई चीज कोई नहीं देख रहा है, उससे पैसा भी नहीं आएगा। पैसा नहीं आएगा तो क्यों ही टाइम वेस्ट करेंगे लोग।
can continue on to maybe get a win here today. But what was it like at MSI? What is a day in the life there? And we're going to have a little segment now with Zulan, who was doing just that from Tribe Gaming, of course, in NA. Let's take a look at that in our break.
Sweden.
You see when I thought about Gene Max, that's why, because he's so fast.
Hello and welcome to the 2022 Brawl Stars Mid-Season Invitational. We have 8 of the top, the most big, the most revered Brawl Stars teams who will qualify for this invitational by accumulating points at each monthly final.
Hello, Bobby.
Hello, Zulai.
How are you?
Good, how about you?
I'm great. How do you feel about your match?
Pretty excited, a little bit nervous, but I feel good. You?
I feel great, man. Like AQM, obviously they're a really good team. They have Pekka, but now they don't. And honestly, I feel like we're gonna take them down. I'm sorry when you guys see this. You guys will probably lose.
Hopefully we can beat them and go all the way, face you guys in the finals.
For sure. NA on top.
Tribe Gaming EU up against STMN. And STMN take the first game. Should hit
no.
OG.
Oh, what?
Now the push and Bobby. They should. The end result is what matters most. We are tied up in this round. Bobby forces the ball in, and STMN win it all.
The Tribe EU unfortunately lost. It's time for the North American boys to maybe give Tribe some hopes up, and yeah, let's try to win.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you. Played OG.
Your turn, guys.
Well played, man. Thank you. We're about to play our match at the MSI versus AQM. Hope we can win. Who knows? Whatever happens, I just hope it'll be a good match. Let's go. It's Brawl Stars. Do everything we do. Scrims NA. We play so good together.
Next up, we got Tribe Gaming NA taking on AC Milan Clash.
Let's see how they handle NA. Game is on, P. There's no way to turn things around at this point, and that is going to be Tribe locking in that first game.
Great pushback, Kaido coming in. It's a bit too little too late there. 13 stars to nothing. Tribe Gaming NA will secure the first set. That's surely going to be a game. It's the final jump there from Motep to seal the deal. AC Milan Clash bring one back on the board. 2% was all that AC Milan Clash. Tribe Gaming NA.
AQ them safe, and this is looking a whole lot like a Tribe Gaming and a victory. They'll be joining SCMN in the semifinals as NA is starting things off strong.
All right, game one. See if we can get the semis. Let's go. We're going to prepare and stuff, so we could get no cameras for now, because we're going to prepare the semis. We're about to play semis, NA versus EU, match versus SK. Let's see who wins, man. Hopefully we can get it. Let's go.
You would expect nerves to be very high, and that very often impacts performance. But dude, he held up so well in quarters. We'll have to see if in this semi he can do the same once more.
Here we go. The second semifinal starts off. It's Tribe Gaming and A versus SK Gaming. Definitely going to be helping out. Turret is low. That's going to be the team wipe. Exactly what Tribe Gaming needed. That's going to be a side going to the NA side of things.
Zulan trying to make his moves. He can't get his super as living with the super himself, but he can't make any moves. Goes in, can't get the takedowns, and SK Gaming are going to take it and move to the finals as no further damage from Tribe will come in. SK make it to the finals.
Oh my words, it was only 6% making the difference in the end, but SK Gaming, they get their revenge in IKOs.
I think we should have went Spike in hindsight. Like, Spike could have been so good versus Phantom. Happens. All right, so my voice, as you can see, like, I have no voice basically, and it was a really close match versus SK. This time around they won. It happens. And yeah, hope next time we face them we can win and do better in the next tournament. GG's.
15 seconds between Zeta Division and the MSI Championship, and Zeta Division are going to be the MSI 2022 champions.
All right, everyone, that wraps up MSI. Didn't exactly go as we hoped for, but still had a lot of fun. GG's to SK, congratulations to Zeta. Thank you guys for following me throughout this amazing journey. Hope to see you guys next time. See ya.
Come on, semifinals time. अरे यार ये वाला मैच खतरनाक होने वाला है. जीटा वर्सेस जीटा वंस अगेन. मारो फेंके ईटा. इट्स जीटा वर्सेस जीटा. क्या बात है, क्या बात है. मतलब यार जीटा वर्सेस जीटा ही होता रहता है. मजे की बात यह है कि जीटा डिवीजन 1 जो है वो हमेशा जीत जाती है जीटा डिवीजन 0 से, या फिर ऐसा कुछ उल्टा है, मेरे को याद नहीं है. कोई तो ऐसी टीम है जो हमेशा जीत जाती है. जीटा डिवीजन 1 जीत जाती है हमेशा, आई गेस, जब भी जीटा वर्सेस जीटा होता है. वहीं अगर कोई दूसरी टीम का होता है तो वो दूसरी टीम जीत जाती है. So once again Zeta versus Zeta. मारो फेंकीटा. चलो, let's go.
I feel like it's that caliber of a game, and I'm really looking forward to it.
It's quite interesting, right? Because we've seen this before in the quarterfinals, and then we saw it in the grand finals in the previous month, and now we get to see it in the semis. But it's been an interesting development. 2 times in a row, it was a Zeta 1 victory, then a Zeta 0 victory as well. We'll see how it turns out this time, though. Already, the brawler picks on the board, and we see the Carl pick has gone the way of Zeta 0, and the influence is there. 2 Carl counters on the enemy team. Kenji playing the Gene here, in Shitetampo on the Gale. But they've also managed to pick up the dog. I'm kind of liking the comp from both teams. It's hard to make a choice, but of course Tensai on the Sandy might be able to make a move here. Doesn't look like it.
I missed it.
Unfortunate whiff there.
Oh, GG's. थोड़ा मैसा हुआ उधर, लेकिन ठीक है.
He misses the open goal, then gets knocked back. He grabs the ball but doesn't manage to clear it. That was a bit of back and forward there between these 2 teams. But looks like Zeta Division 0 are going to be off to a better start. The ego's there as well. Not using freeze frame just yet, pushing the ball forward. Moyogaku grabs the ball, pushes it away, but in comes Chape, who gets that takedown Ball forced over to the right-hand side. Shitampo does have stun, though, so got that defensive measure needed. But in a 3v1, what can he do?
It is quite challenging, and a little bit of info for all of you wondering what on earth were those bans. Bans from Zeta 1, Penny, Janet, Crow. From the side of Zeta 0, Max, Penny, and Squeak. It's interesting to see the Penny double ban across the board. It doesn't look like the long-range interactions are going to be that present, especially with a Choppy getting up in Moyogoku's face, now opting actually to use that super as an escape mechanism. But control of mid is paramount, and Zeta 1 will be taking reign, at least for now. Tensai really getting outranged here on the left side.
Oh no.
Taken down, and this is locked down by Zeta 1 at mid.
G-Pulse there, it's connected. Kuro goes down. A little wall break coming in from Moyogoku as well. I'd like to see that in the goal mouth more. But the stun comes in from both of them. It's traded out. A Chape can't.
Nah.
But the ball goes.
GG's. Close.
Good goals for both teams. Could see overtime on its way unless huge moves are made already. A kill onto Kuro, and now it's a 2v3 whiffed pull there for Kenji. That is going to cost Zeta 1, but they will keep pushing forward, or at least holding on to this bush for as long as they can. Great pinch between Zeta 1, Site Tempo, and Moyogoku on the left side. A good wall break as well, but it's not going to mean too much. That supply drop is all the way on the enemy side, and there's no way for anyone
Overtime
to reach it. Already good moves by Zeta 0 as they throw down the Sandstorm and move things up on the right side. Kenji opting to take a whole lot of damage on the right because he knows that the healing onto Colonel Revs is going to mean way more than healing up himself.
Tempo grabs the ball, pushing over to the left-hand side. Just trying to push up, needs his super. Gene pull in hand again, but Kenji's been a little bit hit and miss with that so far this game, but he hits it this time. Tensai falls, and Shitampo gets the super. The stun's there. The pass across isn't quite yet, but he's spinning.
GG's.
And he forces it in.
जैसे कि मैंने बताया Zeta Division 1
Very well.
हमेशा ही जीतती है जब Zeta versus Zeta होता है.
Pulled out the Carl, and it was very clear how that draft progressed, especially with the Gene on the enemy side playing a pretty hard counter there to Carl, but it just doesn't seem like they really leaned into the Carl picks like we've seen in the past, especially in other regions as well, in a way that can seriously cripple your own comps, or rather picks that
Oh bhai, easy go.
way a Choppy is able to take advantage of this positioning here. Unfortunate, as we saw Shitampo was taken down quite early and the right lane was wide open for a Choppy. I wonder if that'll be able to happen again, because it does seem like a Choppy is going to play this at long range.
And
then making it
easy go. अरे भाई क्या हो क्या रहा है? Fastest match हो रहा है इधर तो.
both sides only 30 seconds into the game.
Pretty similar play out to how last game was. An early goal for Zeta Division 0, and then they even out from Zeta Division 1. Shitampo pushing forward once more. Has this right-hand side on lock so far. Chape now pushing out, though. Kenji's low as well. But Moyogoku's got that power-up. He's going to provide it. It's going to be Shitampo who grabs it, because this position is amazing for him. If he can grab super right now, this could be game right here.
Oh GG's.
He's going to be able to do that all by himself. A one-man army, 160 health to his name at the end as well. The clutch up was there, and what an amazing opportunity as well. Well played is really all I got to say to Shitampo there. And a little representation. Got to show the pride as well. Even when you're fighting versus your sister team, you got to be confident and you got to keep that energy up. And it looks like things are cool, calm, and collected on the side of Z1.
I mean,
Easy peasy.
just so good as well. They got 2 early goals in both games, but their late game just really wasn't there. As soon as that Gene pull connects, the deflation of control pretty much goes all the way, and they just can't do anything about it. Some highlights coming in now. The early goals from both. There's a massive choke here as well from Tensai. Misses the shot, the knockback's there. He picks up the ball and just manages to force it in once more. But like Zeta Division 0, they're not out of this by any means. They played near enough pretty similar to how Zeta Division 1 did. They just took advantage of these opportunities a little bit more.
I think that Zeta Division 1 has pretty much shown the world now how you play into Carl, because they've done it in the quarterfinal and they were really able to shut things down, and leave it to Zeta Division 0 also to play this brawler pretty much to the extent of its potential as well. A Choppy getting in close range versus Shitampo trying to make it happen, and it simply didn't work because you get stunned as Carl, and now your super doesn't mean a whole lot. I think this is pretty textbook Carl play, and the counters from the other side were just brilliant. They were absolutely perfect. If anything, it's going to come down to the ban phase to shape things more around this particular brawler. I wonder, though, if he'll be able to escape through the draft if the coin flip actually goes the way of Z1, or rather of Z0, because it looks like they value this brawler a lot. Don't really want to ban it out. They want to have it on their side.
Yeah, it seems that way. I will say as well, I've just had note that the predictions from the public have come in on event.brawlstars.com, and there's actually 66% in favor of Zeta Division 1, which is just a wild statistic in my eyes. I was looking closer to 50-50, but that's blown near way out of proportion in my eyes.
Same here. I mean, we're looking at Zeta Division 1, right? They just took the win in MSI, and they're looking very, very strong right now. Also continue on with some members that took the victory in the World Finals last year. Zeta Division 0, though, a little bit more similar to that full roster from the previous year. Now we got Moya Goku on the cam as well with 2 bears. Doesn't look like they're populating anymore, so the infestation seems to be under control. But yeah, always got to have a friend at your side. I don't know if we'll be seeing Anita appear today, but the bear, having it physically there, has got to give you a whole lot of positive energy, good vibes on the side of Z1. Still, though, that's not going to be enough to carry them through the entire matchup. Zeta 1 is still a very good roster. Zeta 0, just as good. I wonder how things are going to pan out in the second set, because we're going to be moving into double swoosh for some gem grab.
I do love a bit of double swoosh gem grab, mainly because Tara used to be absolutely incredible here. It's kind of faded away quite heavily now. The bans are in, though, as well. The Bonnie, Bo, and Penny bans coming in from Zeta Division 0. Zeta 1 are going to get rid of the Janet, Stu, and Crow. Not every day you see a Stu ban, but I will say I do quite like it here. The mobility that these players and, you know, just in general as Stu you have is just absolutely incredible and so easy to avoid a lot of the different brawlers.
Stu is definitely a brawler to be afraid of, particularly in East Asia, and particularly when you're playing versus Tensai, who seems to have mastered this craft. It can be very irritating to play versus him as well, and for that reason, it's actually quite tough to tell who gets first pick in this draft. The Bonnie ban, the Janet ban would typically...
भाई आजकल ये लोग दिखाते नहीं है क्या ban हो रहा है क्या चल रहा है.
Opposite sides now. So it'll be quite interesting to see. Maybe we can tell by a Carl pick who has first or second pick. That said, though, there are kind of better brawlers to be picked here, and it looks like Zeta 1 doesn't really want to pick this brawler. They've mastered playing into it, and they seem to be pretty satisfied with that. As far as brawlers that you want to be picking on this map, though, you got to be considering a potential close range matchup on the left side. Also on the right side, the potential of maybe an Amber to burn down some of the bushes. Bo, also a very strong mid here, but he does kind of get countered by Carl, so you want to pick things carefully. This brawler, even though it's not been banned, is seriously going to be shaping the draft.
I'd honestly absolutely love to see a Gene come back, just because of, you know, how well Kenji's been playing it in this monthly final, and also playing it in the MSI as well. Some of the Gene pullers he hit against SK Gaming in those finals were just absolutely out of this world. Completely ridiculous plays, but he still managed to make them. And who knows, maybe if you pair it with a vision gear and able to scout out the bushes really successfully with a Gene, as you usually be able to, it's going to be an absolutely incredible brawler to have here.
Well, let's see what the comps picked were. We do have Kenji on the Gene, but we also get a little bit of Kuru on the Amber, so I think we're both happy here. But final pick, it looks like, was Daryl, because there's no counterplay on the side of Zeta Division 0. And this is how the draft typically starts to shape up. You have a Carl on the enemy team, pick a Gene, and go for a Daryl last pick, though it just doesn't look like Zeta Division 0 thought ahead necessarily to start countering out the Daryl. So we'll see.
Oh, nice.
Kuru is going to have a remarkably difficult time versus this brawler. Tensai, though, does have a speed. He's not going to use it quite yet. He's also going to have to budget those phase shifters very carefully, since he is facing versus a Gene, and he needs to be able to go in and grab gems right at the end of the game without risking everything that he has currently over his head. Good kill on the right side, and we will see Kenji go down. Tensai now looking to accumulate a few more gems here, but he needs his bodyguard Kuru on the left side. Swiftly taken down by Shitetampo. Achapi might be next.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely popping off. Just sitting there in their spawn. The Gene Pool's available now as well, and this is firm control for Zeta 1. But Shitetampo just doesn't have the range required to be able to keep this control, unless he rolls in on a Charpy like this. Flying hook.
Oh, bhai. Help karo uski.
He gets it. The gems are in his hands, but he's got 2 players standing in his way. Needs the support from his team, and it's not quite there.
मारो रे जीनी को मारो.
Because Kenji was able to get some supercharge off of that, and now he has it all charged up. An aggressive super from Moya Goku as well.
एक ही चाहिए इनको.
Backline, and that's going to be absolutely important since, well, Tensai needs one more gem, and he has numerous enemies on the enemy team that can sap away his ammo, crowd control him as well, pull him even. We'll see Shitetampo go down on the left side. Kuru fills that position. Moya Goku
Come on.
trying to make good use of the scrap sucker. A Choppy getting stunned out of the super, but that's quite predictable. Now Kenji, oh no, he's gonna miss the pull, and he's all out of lamp blowouts as well. This is not looking good for Z1.
Tempo's here, but he takes some damage rolling onto a Choppy. Can he get that takedown? He does. Not sure how much of a cycle he got in his super, but the takedowns are there. The pull's there as well.
Oh, good use of the gadget.
Kenji! I was bigging up his gene, but he misses that pull. Great shifter defensively, though, from Zeta Division 0.
Nice.
Phenomenal dodge.
Nice one.
Might have been the best value and probably the most impressive phase shifter that I've personally seen of all time, because that took prediction right there. That was not a reaction right there. That was Tensai knowing his enemy, and Kenji simply getting out-predicted there. It might have even been a 50-50, though that said, we'll see if it happens once again this time. Shitampo rolling in on the left side, taking down a Choppy. Now it's Tensai all alone. He's gonna have to go in deep on the enemy side, picking up 3 gems here. Shitampo is this looming enemy within the bushes. A good dodge by Kuru. We'll see if he survives this push in. A Choppy will get the super value, but Shitampo rolls it back out. I gotta hand it to Shitampo on the Daryl. He's been getting amazing value with every single roll, and he seems to be cycling these out like one after the other.
Mogoku aggressing Kuru now, waiting for the pinch as well. Has that turret, should fall, but he just does now to the gene of Kenji. Has his pull, a Choppy, has his super as well, but if he goes in on Shitampo, he's going to be completely wiped off the map, so he needs to be cautious, pick his target. Good Pam turret, I like that, there's the pull, but the wall's gone from where the Pam turret was, and now that's opening up a little bit more room for Zeta Division 0, regardless of the takedown.
Nonetheless, the range is going to be a huge asset to Zeta Division 1 as well. Choppy is going to try and play this long range on the right side. Shitampo does have a super. He's going to be hanging on to it for just a moment here. Choppy is doing a great job of playing the long range game on the right side, but Shitampo is able to heal right up. It's more or less chip damage when you have almost 8,000 health at your disposal. Choppy also on the right side, going to get a well-timed super. Shitampo does get the kill, but he's very weakened. And Tensai, once more, all alone. He needs
Ah.
It looks like it won't come. Kuru doesn't really have the range to make it happen either. Moya Goku standing his ground, and Choppy with a good kill, but Kenji has 12 gems, and he is way far behind. Unless Tensai somehow clutches this up, it's a win for Z1.
Shitampo's got his roll with tar barrels there as well. Tensai gets slowed down 4 seconds, and they're nowhere to be seen. Barely even see them on the screen. Zeta Division 1. They're one game away from taking this to 2 sets now, and a massive lead, like 2 sets. It could be deadly. It could be the end of the game. Just one more set after that, and momentum heavily in their favor. You've got to be scared if you're Zeta Division 0 right now.
You absolutely have to be terrified, and if I'm in either team's position, I'm shaking my boots, and really that is what sets these guys apart from the rest. They simply, they're just diff. They are on a different level with their mechanics and with their ability to keep their heads cool and keep their heads above the water as well. We'll see Tensai, though, once more, getting a good start, 3 gems, but this is just kind of the warm-up phase, the preparation for Zeta Division 1 to start getting their supers up and then start getting a lot of pressure from there. A good double up on the left side, though. Tensai might be targeted by Shitampo. Looks like Shitampo kind of backed out at the last second. A roll in, Tensai is able to get away. There's a phase shifter use as well. A Choppy going to stay narrowly alive, and down goes Shitampo. Tensai also gonna get some good value. Kenji with a pull, but he falls to that fire. Shitampo might come in just in time.
Oh boy.
He is able to hang on to a phase shifter throughout that interaction as well. He has 2 left, and he's really gonna need them, as Kenji is probably close to a super as well.
Zeta Division 0 looking great right now. Scrapsucker comes in, and it's against a Carl. I'm not sure what you can really do against that. Here comes the pinch from the Amber, though. Kenji's burned. He's gonna fall. Moyogoku's low as well. Shitampo cleans up. Tensai needs 1 more for this countdown to start. Chappy's going to come in with a flying hook, and that should give them the control needed.
Nice.
And take the countdown.
Fight's still not over. Kenji's in these bushes. He has vision gear, and he has a pole at his disposal. Kenji might have one as well. There it goes down. Achapi is going to be able to get a kill off of this. Shitetampo has to get good value off the roll, and Tensai takes so much damage, but the body...
Nice.
...as well from that final super from Kenji, and this is set number 1, headed to Z0.
Well, that makes it 1-1 now. Great set for Zeta Division 0, because that could have gone terribly wrong very, very fast for them if they had lost that set. If you go 2 sets down, your mental's going to be wavering. So, a huge thing for them that they get this first.
चलो मैं पानी की बोतल लेके आता हूँ तब
And the other thing is, it's really hard to point out any mistakes, if there even were any from either team. Was this just calculated? Was this a game 1 in the draft? That's kind of a big question that we're going to have to consider for the next set. It's very mysterious. How was the winner decided in this matchup? Because the mechanics were absolutely on point. If anything, we could say that Kenji missed a couple of pretty vital pulls here and there, and the predictions, just the skill difference was remarkable when it came to Tensai on that max. That is the reason that the max mid has been echoed and heard the world round, is because it started here, and Tensai is such a good example of why it has caught on so quickly around the globe.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'd say, as soon as we mentioned that Kenji missed pull, it just really does come to mind. He missed some pulls that definitely should have been hit. There was, you know, I thought maybe Shitetampo would struggle quite a bit. Double swoosh, you need that range to scout out these bushes. But he played phenomenally in my eyes. He played the best on Zeta Division 1 by far in this set, and that just shows how much of a strong player he is. He definitely counters out the Carl a little bit, but a lot of the time he was on the Amber or the Max, and he was still putting in some amazing work.
I think Shitetampo is definitely a star player from Zeta Division 1 worth looking at as well. We saw him go in deep, take down Carl literally at his spawn and grab 8 gems, but he wasn't able to fight the 1v2. Oh, boo-hoo, you can't fight a 2v1? Yeah, almost no one can, right? Shitetampo, right, one of the best players in the world, can't win a 1v2 versus the other greatest players in the world. This is pretty much expected, and it would have been a crazy clutch if he had been able to do that. Still remarkable play from both sides. It is going to take us into a second set as well. We sort of have the bands rolling through as well, but it is going to be Heist. We got some Kaboom Canyon coming up, and one of the things that we've seen a little bit on this map has been the Gale and the tank strategy, particularly Gale and Daryl, and wonder if that one's going to be getting through the draft.
Yeah, I've seen Tribe NA play that a lot. They played it at MSI, they played it in ESL sometimes as well. They pair it with a nanny and it goes amazingly. Once you get those TPs and the rolls really lined up together and have that synergized play, the damage just starts to roll down no matter what. A Gale supported as well for defense, for offense, for some stuns, you name it, Gale's there to support you with it.
Well, we have Moegoku staring us down. Even I'm a little intimidated, and I don't have to even play against him. But we do have the bans coming in from both teams as the draft progresses along. From Z0, it's Penny, Squeak, Lola. From Zeta 1, it's Janet, Penny, Crow. They must know something about Penny that we don't, because we've seen plenty of Penny bans and we've seen some gameplay, but even then she hasn't been that impactful when she's been in play. When it comes to Kaboom Canyon, I'm not really too worried about Penny being on my safe. It's got to be about the control game at mid, considering that, yeah, once you have control of that middle bush, you have control of the entire game. It's so hard to push into, and it's not necessarily easy to defend, but that rule applies to both sides. It's going to be very difficult to push into. We might even see some brawlers that are dedicated to breaking open bushes to enable an easier take back of mid. Of course, that all relies on the draft, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you might be forgetting about something there, Reddy. I would be scared of a Penny was, you know, when it had that 100 star power. Now it's been reduced to 75. I think it still takes down a
hello there, bro.
Time
how are you?
Bull with that barrel placed and the splash through it. So that's something that I'd be quite scared of a Penny coming towards in the mid. If anything, a tank comes towards you, you place down the barrel, you splash through it, and they're going to be gone in no time.
Well, let's see. This is going to enable a little bit of tank play now that Penny is gone. And you know what, Trav? I got to thank you. I've been enlightened. My eyes have been open. And now Penny on my safe is going to haunt me in my dreams. Though, thankfully, she's banned here. So we won't have to witness that before our very eyes. It's not going to be like a sleep paralysis happening before us. Still, though, Daryl is a very real reality here. And with some serious tank counters banned out, I think that that is going to be a viable last pick. But we could even see a tank on both sides. Bull has been making the rounds. We do see Gale, though, slipping through the bans, but really nothing to combine it with. No Daryl or anything, and probably a response to Moya Goku picking up the Colette a little bit earlier in the draft. In fact, amazing take of the mid area by Zeta Division 1, pretty much a dismantling on the right side, especially due to Moya Goku. And the Byron Colette is a matchup or a duo together that we haven't seen in a while, but I don't think it really ever became off meta. It just became hard to get on the same team as soon as draft rolled around.
Yeah, I agree with that. Takes me back to the good old days where just Byron Colette spam on safe zone.
Sum of area of two squares is 468 meters square. If the difference of the perimeter is 24 meters, find the sides of two squares.
Going too badly. I think Super was used there and wasted.
उससे क्या होगा?
A bit of burst damage before he went down, but I mean this Gale bounce pad is just being overused at this point, and it's not really working for them too much.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta wonder, like, is it gonna get updated so that it can only be used a certain amount of times? That would seriously change the way this game is played, because it's only gonna be put down once and it's gonna be used the entire game, particularly by Gale himself, because he succeeds in these close range interactions. We see an opening taken up, and already a whole lot of damage done by a Choppy, but Moya Goku comes in for a little bit more, and it doesn't seem, like Kenji was going down without a fight. Tensai was able to get a kill there. Moya Goku is slowed down, but the dodges have been remarkable, and of course that is in the bushes. You got to give some credit to Tensai for being able to predict the position like that. Still though, decent defense,
and it's gone.
This is a GG.
Yeah, this is looking very good for Zeta Division 1 at the moment. Moya Goku is surely going to rain down some shots in a second, or this could actually be cleaned up. The Super comes in. One shot needs to be remaining to take this down. Zeta Division 0, they're still in this. There's 30 seconds on the clock. Only 50% needed, but they do need to get some damage down. They need to defend phenomenally as well, because I see a Colette Super, I see a Byron's got some range. If they get any portion of this mid, it's over.
And Kenji doesn't have a flying hook either, so every bit of positioning is going to have to be earned 100%. Choppy isn't able to cycle out that super, but he will be able to take down Kenji. It looks like Tensai getting kind of countered here. Shitetampo taking a whole lot of damage. A great team kill.
Oh, that was very nice.
Shitetampo used on the left side to get that little extra bit of damage, but it wasn't quite enough. Amazing take back of mid, I gotta say. And we also have to attribute this to Carl spacing out those flying hooks very well and having good timing on them, because we saw at the end when he didn't have that ability to move so quickly, it very quickly fell in favor of Zeta Division 0 to start pushing up. Nonetheless, Zeta 1 has gotten a game so far, and they can even it out with another victory.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this protective pirouette from Kenji either. Especially against, the Gale and stuff like that can just knock you out of your spin. I feel like, the power throw would be a little bit better. I think he's using pirouette at least from what I've seen, but the first bit of damage comes down from Zeta Division 1 now, and they've got the control. Mine's going to be baited out by Moya Goku. He has the super in hand. Kenji's got his spin as well, so in a great position.
If Kenji is in fact using protective pirouette, yes, there it is. He's going to use it to get a little bit of damage on the safe. This is quite interesting. I'd say it totally makes sense, because with pirouette, he counters out 2 enemies on Zeta Division 0. The thing is, though, that they've been doing a phenomenal job so far, actually, of reliably getting Gale onto this matchup. And that's one of the most challenging things, is when you only have one brawler that counters out the enemy, how are you going to make sure that you're actually countering them by actually attacking them? And Choppy is not going to be able to get the stun. Kenji also pops the super. Didn't really need to, but still, he is able to get that positioning at least. And on the left side of Choppy is going to go for the free stun, the free damage. Tensai also helping pinch things out. Zeta 0 now.
Nice, good shot.
They haven't been able to get on that safe very much, but they are able to retain more or less control of mid. Though once that last flying hook is used by Kenji, we'll probably see a momentum shift. The thing is, there are only 50 seconds left for 0-0 to make up some progress.
And Tensai does fall as well. Splash comes in, but missed. The Sharpay coming in with a knockback. Gets the stun as well. Shitampo falls down. Morgoku is low as well, but so is Kuro on the other side of things. So just trying to play aggressive. Kenji with a great flying up through, getting the control back in their favor.
Wow.
And getting 1,188 damage per shot as well. He gets the takedown, and now he's just free to roam on save. Kenji with an absolute pop-off.
Nice.
Well, that's all the damage he's going to get, but it was quite remarkable, I gotta say. And with just a few seconds left, Z0 get to go ham on this safe. Kenji can't push through, he can only defend, and so far, Z1 are doing a great job of defending, and they will be able to get some damage on the left side too. Moya Goku also feeling the pain, though he wasn't able to dodge out that last shot from Tensai, it doesn't look like. Still though, a win is a win, and Zeta 1 will be taking this one in a sweep.
In the sets that Zeta Division 1 have won, they've just looked absolutely phenomenal in comparison to Zeta Division 0, but in the one they lost, it was still very, very close. I just feel like how well they're playing here is just absolutely ridiculous. They might have had a little bit of a poorer comp in Jenga, hence the loss. But in this one, they bounce straight back even after the loss, and they play it even better than they had before.
And in a way, you gotta wonder, like, when you get on the battlefield, it seems to be actually quite decisive both games in a row. Even though we've seen both teams take very dominant games over each other. So what's influencing that? It might be largely the draft, which is a little bit of a big assumption there, because of course you got to be playing these games as well, but we don't really see many mistakes, if any, made by either team. So if there's anything that we can hand the victory or the loss to, I'd say the draft is definitely a pretty big culprit we should be keeping our eyes on in set number 3. Now, when it comes to Zeta 0 with their strategy, they absolutely tried to counter out the Carl, whether in long range or in short range as well with Gale. It didn't seem to work out for them. Carl is just too powerful, and when you decide to play those counters, you forfeit a lot of abilities that would otherwise be at your disposal. Brawlers that are actually good for getting damage on the heist safe, for example.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You know, it's all about the draft, really. Between these two teams, when they're so evenly matched when it comes to mechanics, the draft is going to be the thing that's so decisive. And we've seen Byron Colette, which is rare to get together. They win. You know, we've seen, Jean and Gale to come out and counter the Carl. They win. And then in the other one, they had a slightly better comp for Zeta Division 0, and they won it. That's just the name of the game. The draft is a big portion of just winning competitive games at the moment. The next map, though, it's Mechanics Central, Shooting Star. The long-range brawlers usually are the ones that are coming in nowadays, but also with 6 bans, which are good lead-in as they've just come in now. Zeta Division 0 have banned out Carl, Janet, and Byron. Zeta 1, Max, Leon, Jean. So those long-range brawlers, Piper, Nanny, Brock, they're all still involved.
And taking a look at the bans, it looks like Zeta 0 does have second pick, since Zeta 1 is...
Why we can't see the bans?
Don't want to face, or it could be a good last pick. Leon could be a great last pick. Jean, Max. Jean you'll probably see a little bit towards the middle of the draft. Same deal with Max. From Zeta 0, though, all they're banning out are good first picks, especially Janet, I gotta say, has captured my attention. Byron is one that you don't want to play versus either, especially if the enemy has the ability to go for some hyper-aggressive comp. I'm also a bit relieved to see Carl banned out here, because he's been such a deciding factor in pretty much every single match that we have watched today whenever he wasn't banned out. And even then, him being banned opens the doors for the things that get countered by him. Bo, I think, is definitely a big one to bring up, but also things that are generally poor in close range. And since it's Shooting Star, it's pretty likely that we'll see a little bit of tick play here and maybe some thrower play for a final counter pick down the line.
Yeah, I do really enjoy seeing, the ticks, the sprouts and stuff coming out in the mid. I think the main focus, though, is getting those Pipers, those Nannies that are so good down those lanes at the longer range. You can even take a Brock if your opposition manages to get a thrower that's just too good for you to handle and the other ones are banned out. It's just really diverse map when it comes to it. You can either play quite a closed-off comp, you can play speedy comps, assassin comps, but with the 6 bans that come in, it really does close it down, and I think the meta we're probably going to be seeing with these is more of that longer range with a little bit of a thrower in mid.
And this is the traditional comp, right? Used to be like once upon a time when there were blind bans and you have 2 brawlers that basically sweep the meta. Those 2 get banned out, and every single time it's Piper, it's Tick, it's Nanny. And you know what? I didn't really miss that kind of shooting start because it was, as you said, mechanics central. And that's what I am really hoping to see between these two teams, because so far the mechanics have been absolutely on point. Maybe a little bit of a slip up in set number 1 there for Zeta 1, but everyone makes mistakes. Here though, there's pretty much no room for mistakes. So anything that has gone wrong so far needs to be ironed out. If you're getting first pick here, probably Nanny is the go-to. You can start farming up some of those supers as well with the bow pick, which is going to be great for breaking open walls or picking up some control. And here we see actually the Nanny and bow combo. Really beautiful stuff. But also a Choppy is going to be on that Piper, and this is a brawler he's famous for. In fact, he's going to be switching over to the left lane already to go for the diff versus Shitetampo, and a good pinch there between himself and Tensai is going to get themselves the lead so far.
The Bonnie, I completely forgot about it. You know, you've got the range, you've also got the assassin value as well. It's just a bit of both. You've got a bit of everything with Bonnie on this map, really. So I think that's a really Tensai. If he does need to go aggressive, which he probably won't do at the moment just because he's got 3 stars over his head, then it's a really good choice to do just that. Piper, oh, in comes the peep and it connects with Kuru, but 1-3-6 remaining. He can't quite get it, and Kenji's now in an awful position. Should connect, and he does survive.
And that's the price you got to pay when you use your homemade recipe so early like a Choppy did. They really wanted that early lead and to be able to defend for the entire game. And it ended up costing a Choppy a kill potential there, one that totally would have swung the lead back in their favor. On the left side, though, we'll see a Choppy once more pursue this 1v1 versus Shitetampo, which is probably going to be his best bet as well. It does look like Shitetampo will be rotating more towards mid. Moyogoku now opting to take this 1v1 versus a Choppy. And though the terrain won't really lend itself well to the matchup, oh man, here comes the peep.
Oh, 4.
Kill, 4 health remaining, and that's actually quite lucky by a Choppy, but also quite unlucky by Moyogoku. He saw the prime opportunity since a Choppy didn't have a Piper super to get away. Nonetheless, Zeta Zero's done a great job of pushing up the back line so far. The clock is ticking down. 15 seconds remaining.
Come on,
single kill, and odds are Tensai will probably go for something 5-5. Blue Stars still in Zeta's favor. Tensai's gonna have to go for something. Moyogoku is the lowest health target, but he can't be gone for. Zeta Zero picks up
Jeez.
and doesn't let him go despite being very low on health. Well done there by Zeta Zero. The Bonnie super, in fact, provided so much pressure on the offensive, and that, I think, is a great example of how much of an asset Bonnie can be when she has her super.
I mean, Zeta Division 1 just looked so good for the majority of the game, and then just that last portion where they come in and finish things off, that's where, you know, there's more aggressive brawlers. You've got the Bonnie and the Lola that can do so much at a shorter range in comparison to the brawlers on Zeta 1. That's where they're really going to shine.
अरे भाई क्या वेस्ट हो रहा है
On the right side is getting
अभी यूज करना था
big tap there by a Choppy, but he's not going to go for the homemade recipe quite yet. He doesn't want to risk too much in. We'll see the lane switch up as well. A Choppy knows that he'll have his next chance once again, but he doesn't have a super, and it looks like the super is going to cycle over to Kuru. A big bump forward, but the emergency ego is able to tank enough damage for him, and they even get a kill off of it. A counter, though, as Tensai does go down. He had to tank quite a bit of damage for Kuru in order for him to stay alive, and he ended up having to pay the price himself. Still, not too much of a consequence there, as Tensai has farmed up his super along the way, and a whole lot of damage trickling into Zeta 1. They're backing up way earlier than they did in the last one, and this probably is Zeta Zero's chance to push this to a set number 5, as long as they keep up the pressure.
Tensai split shot, really doing a lot of work here. Tempo's going to go down, and that's 3 stars.
Okay.
Zeta Division 0.
Lead में come on नीचे जाओ.
Lead now. Nanny Peep available. Also does have that turnaround capability. They should start coming in soon, or else they're going to be leaving it too late. 33 seconds on the clock now, and in it comes, but no super available from Kuru to tank it. It misses, and it connects with the wall. That is a nightmare for Zeta Division 1.
Unfortunate stuff. Zeta Zero can still keep backing up, but Zeta 1 just gets more and more powerful with each tick of damage they get off of the enemy. Good pitch.
Nice.
Only gets stronger the more damage he takes, and takes down Kenji. Moyogoku is out of range of a Choppy as well, and Kuru is going to be holding the back lines. Moyogoku knows that this one is done and dusted, and it is going to a set number 5. Well,
भाई ये तो फाइनल चल रहा है जैसे रुकते ही नहीं है भाई दोनों.
Besides the Piper headed to Zeta Zero, I liked Zeta 1's comp better. The problem is that there's an Achapi, and he's gonna play the Piper, and Achapi is just insane on the Piper. We got so many opportunities to see that. Bit of a stumble there at the beginning of the set as well, since he did run out of homemade recipes, but a good clutch up by his teammates provided him the opportunity to pop off in the next game as well. So well picked, well played. I think we saw really good mechanics this time shine through from Zeta 0. Zeta 1, I think that they got a better draft in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that, to be fair. I think it was just, you know, that Bonnie that was actually kind of just so good at range. It was keeping them low with the split shot as well when it connected with the wall. It did a really, really solid job. But I mean, Zeta 1 were just, regardless of having a good comp, we can see here they're just in spawn too early at different points of the game, and then they just get pinched in. In comes the Bonnie, some great pinching. Kuru is actually there who gets the takedown, but nothing is traded out. And that's the issue with Zeta 1, really. I feel like the trades weren't really there when Zeta Division 1 were in uncomfortable positions.
And it raises some big questions, right? Zeta 1, they were they weren't too opposed to backing up and trying to get some control off of that, which is a pretty classic strategy when it comes to shooting star or bounty in general. You have the lead, why would you play aggressive? But the thing is that when you stay aggressive, you keep the back line basically, which would otherwise be the back of the map, at your backs, forcing you into unfortunate situations where you're cornered completely. You keep the back line a little bit more forward. You play control at mid. That's because it's basically the line of scrimmage for you. That's where the game is played. That's your defensive line. We saw it back up a little bit too early. They ran out of options for movement, and that's why Zeta 1 went down there, is because they got backed up so much. Now we're moving into a different game mode this time, but kills matter pretty much just as much. In fact, there'll probably be more kills during this set than there were during Bounty. We're moving into Knockout for Flaring Phoenix, and as far as Knockout maps go, this one's a little bit different in spirit and energy and playstyle. It's the one where we might actually see Fang appear. But Flaring Phoenix, talk us through, Trav. What are some picks you're expecting here?
Flaring Phoenix, I love a long-range comp. I do love a long-range comp. When the map gets broken up and it's played, you know, with the Piper, and pretty similar meta to what we've just seen on Shooting Star, really. That's what I like to see. But also the throwers are just so good. You get a Sprout, you get a Tick, absolutely incredible. Janet as well, with the ability to swoop in, get some takedowns, and then just have some exit routes as well. It's a really, really solid brawl to have. But I'd love to see Bonnie come out once more, because we haven't really seen it a lot, except from that last game, really.
This is true, and I think the last game did a great job of explaining why we've seen this brawler banned so much. She's just so insanely good at long range, keeping up that damage, and she has a ton of health. She's not going to be easy to take down for a brawler like Nanny. You got to get like 3 perfect shots in a row to take her down. Meanwhile, Piper can 2-tap you if she has damage gear active. So this is going to be a brawler that's fantastic as a first pick, no matter what the map is. And Flaring Phoenix, since it lends itself to long-range brawlers like you mentioned, is going to be one of those. As far as throwers, though, I love seeing throwers on this map, particularly Tick, since he can function pretty well if the walls are broken down. But I think in A in particular, people love to play the Brock on this map to break open the walls for free, and that seriously hurts the throwers. You can also use rocket fuel with Brock to break open some of the bushes, and for that same reason, Amber tends to be a pretty popular pick on this map, and it makes it more difficult to play Jean, since you can't really get good value off of the vision gear, especially when you're backed up all the way into your own bushes. We'll see if those brawlers appear, though. I think one that we didn't see in the last set that is really worth talking about as well is going to be Carl, but also kind of his arch nemesis, Daryl.
Well, sadly, you won't be seeing any Tick or any Carl because they are banned out. Zeta Division 1 have banned Janet, Bo, and Tick. Zeta Division 0 have banned Carl, Jean, and Squeak. So some solid bans all round, really. And I feel like Zeta Division 0 are actually getting quite scared of Kenji's Jean still. Even though we saw a few misplays in Gem Grab, they've chosen to ban it out in Flaring Phoenix, which is a map where occasionally it tends to sneak in, but it's not like a front-running, amazing, prominent brawler.
Yeah, and I would say one of the largest reasons is that Jean, he takes a while to get his super, and it's pretty obvious when he does have his super as well. That also, let's consider that he's going to be pretty good at max range. When we hand it to Kenji to play the Gene, he's going to be able to hit those max range pulls. And in Double Switch, I don't think that was a good showcase of his abilities on this brawler, since he was playing it in close range. But no Gene on this map. Instead, Zeta 1, they're going to be keeping it at long range, and they even have a Sprout on their side to take advantage of these walls. No wall break for Zeta 0 either, so this is going to be a massive asset, though it's going to be tough for Kenji to get a kill on this lane. In fact, it might even be impossible. So the long game is going to be important on the right lane. At the mid lane, though, it's going to be up to Shtetampo to try and pick up an early kill. Tensai, though, more focused on getting that super up and playing for control, which will give some big issues to Kenji and especially Leon as he approaches on the right side for the lane switch.
Man, honestly, looking at Zeta Division Zero's comp, I'm kind of scared for Zeta Division 1 if it does go to this late game. They've got the Pam Scrap Sucker, Penny with the barrel. Achape might be able to get his more aggressive form towards the later portions as well, but it looks like Zeta 1 are doing a great job of just shutting things down nice and early. Tensai forced to use a barrel there as well. Achape falling low over the left-hand side. Wall comes in, there's a pathway through, but that's a choke point that they're not going to want to walk through. It's replaced, and I'm not sure if that wasn't communicated with Moyogoku, but the timing there was terrible for the team. Achape is in a 1v2 and he
GG's.
sticks and he hits the shot, managing to bring it home for Zeta Division 0.
Oh my gosh, that is insane. What a great showcase of how much of an asset Bonnie's health pool is. You're getting close to 8,000 health, and that's with no buffs or anything. Really well played by both teams, but it showcases the weakness as well of Zeta Division 1's comp, which is that when things close in, pretty much their only asset is going to be Kenji with his wall. Shtetampo is not going to be able to function in close range. He has to get some early value on Tensai. If Zeta 1 has some eyes on the enemy, they'll know that everyone's backed up. This could have been an opportunity for Shtetampo to break open some walls. Just didn't have the intel, and an amazing super on the right side by Achape. He will have
Nice.
back, but there might not even be enough time for him to get his super back. He is going to fold on this lane, and that is going to
Nice.
be coming for Z0.
Match
Well, I mean,
point.
as viewers and casters, we could see that Bonnie play coming at a mile away, but Kenji caught off guard because he wasn't far enough the map to see the rotate. He just gets jumped on and taken down instantly, and that is the power of Bonnie. Managing to winning in the tank form in the first and taking massive strides to help Zeta Division 0 win that game in his squishier, more aggressive form in the second.
Well, different positioning this time, and no one's going to be able to take care of that that lollipop drop on the right side, which is going to force Kuru to back up, actually. I would say this is a much more optimal matchup for Piper this time. Kenji's going to circle over to the right to try and get a free super as well. Shtetampo sitting in this position. He won't be able to get the pinch on Akuru, and Achape's actually going to force him out as well. So much damage on a Moyogoku and nearly an early kill, but Tensai is able to farm up this super, and this could even be a win condition for Zeta 0 in the first round. It looks like Tensai is going to have those close range capabilities with his gadget as well. There's pretty much no angle for Zeta 1 to approach. They just got to start focusing on getting a super farm.
No.
Cut their losses and head into the next round.
Shots coming from Shtetampo though, so not getting the losses just yet. Wall break as well. Choosing to break it up, uses super. Does go down to the gas there, I believe. Moyogoku using his super as well, and it seems like they're actually trying to win this, but there's just not a chance they're going to. Penny Torre gets the final shot, and one round between Zeta Division 0.
One round, if they win, Zeta Division 0 is going to be excelling for the finals.
Zeta 1 in the grand finals a couple of months ago in May, and now history might repeat itself. So much has happened in the downtime with Zeta 1 taking the victory in MSI, and now Zeta Division 0 seems to be the final boss for the final boss. It's the post-end game here for Zeta 1, and it looks like Zeta 0 has some buffs ready as well. Kuru is going to actually get completely stopped on the right side. Tensai positions his turret on the right as well, which could perhaps be taken down by Sprout, but since Kuru's pushed up so much and he has a super, it looks like it's going to be totally inaccessible even to Overgrowth with that expanded radius, and a little damage taken by Sprout, it looks like, as well. So much value on the left side for Achape too, and that poison is going to start closing in pretty soon. Zeta 1 needs to amp up everything, send everything into overdrive, and make good use of these lane switches before it's too late.
I mean, Chitampo's going to need some good taps, and there they are. Tensai does have the super, he hits it as well. He throws it down.
And with that, they goes on to the finals.
Division 0.
Oh yeah.
Finals.
It's always a tragedy to see
GG's.
grand finals because it really feels like it ought to be a bit later on. Well done, Tensai, and congratulations. Well played by the entire team. And I gotta say, Tensai, a star player in my eyes, but some other players that stole the spotlight for me too. Gotta hand it to a Choppy for the Killer Piper play when it came to shooting star, and so many other moments that we could spend pretty much an entire day highlighting as well if we roll back the footage.
Yeah, I mean, I loved this Achapi play towards the end of the round where he managed to get that 1v2 down. A little bit of a help from the gas as well, but nonetheless, this play was just absolutely phenomenal. The wall comes in, the gas is taken away, he hits Chitampo, and then the gas and a shot from him hit at the same time, surviving on 419 and winning the round.
I don't really get emotional playing Brawl Stars, but that brings a tear to my eye. It was just beauty in its purest form when it comes to Flaring Phoenix. We're going to miss you, Flaring Phoenix. We'll get to see a little bit of it later today, but with the map pool updating, we got to wave so long to it, at least for now. So goodbye, Flaring Phoenix. It was a good run, and Zeta Zero, man, they sure figured out this map when it comes down to the draft. Once more, well played. And congrats to Zeta Zero. They're headed to the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, it's very commendable performance from Zeta Division 1 as well. Coming off the back of an MSI win, they probably will have been in a great state of mind going into this one, which just proves how good Zeta Division 0 are playing at the moment. Because they're only coming off the back of the win from a previous monthly final, and it's been like 2 months plus since then. So they've had a lot of time to rest, think about it. And clearly in this time they've had off, they've been really thinking about how to defeat Zeta Division 1 again. And it worked.
Yeah, well, our bracket has been updated with that victory. Zeta Zero on top of the world right now. A 3-2 victory is a 3-2. It was such a close one, but it has earned them their spot in the grand finals, though we have to find a worthy opponent. Will it be Rising Sun Esports, who has made it to the grand finals before, or Blood Diamond, coming off of their first clean sweep in their entire history here in the region? We can say first clean sweep, but let's not also take away it's their first game win, set win, and match win. It's going to be an interesting one because they were playing versus kind of a crippled We Need sponsor roster in the last one. Rising Sun Esports, I don't know what they've been doing for the last month, but I'm sure it wasn't changing around the roster too much.
Yeah, I mean, this next matchup is going to be an explosive one, just as the previous one was as well. Blood Diamond versus Rising Sun. It's just such a great matchup as well. I feel like they're two fairly evenly matched teams, just as we saw in that last game. Blood Diamond, I know Ark likes to absolutely roast them, saying they hadn't won anything, but they're looking very, very good at the moment. I will say, you know, Mameshi joining that roster has just been so good for them. And then Rising Sun as well, they looked on top of the game as well. So it's just going to be an absolutely explosive game, and I cannot wait to see who comes out on top.
And I couldn't agree more. I think this is Rising Sun Esports playing their usual game, which is their A game. And also, Mameshi, we're talking a world-class player. He's got his name in the Rise Up to the Top song. It's literally in there. Go listen to it. This guy is a living legend in the Brawl scene and East Asia, his home. What a great player that we'll get to see play pretty soon here. Blood Diamond, also fun trivia for you. It's coached by Hagego, Hage God, as some people might know him. Departed the Brawl scene just a moment ago, but now his legacy lives on as he coaches these phenomenal players. Once more, to reiterate and kind of reinforce what you have, this is going to be a very furious matchup. We're looking at a rejuvenated, renewed Blood Diamond and Rising Sun Esports playing as amazing as they ever have. Remind yourselves that they got to the grand finals before, and I am sure they got their eyes set on that QF2 spot once again.
Well, I mean, I can't blame them, to be honest, because I would have my eyes on that spot as well. As you said, the rejuvenated Blood Diamond roster have just been looking so good, though. With Mameshi coming in, it's really given them a lease of life that I'm not sure Ark even realized, to be honest with you, because, you know, that name really strikes fear in the enemies because he's just so good at the game. His mechanics, his team play, they're all kind of working together at this point, and Blood Diamond have looked better than they ever have.
Let's talk a little more about how wrong Ark was. I am so
I mean, I'm just putting it there time and time again.
We gotta stick to him. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good. Okay, but let's get into the games and see
Oh.
if Blood Diamond can take it
ये वाला map
further from there. Let's go, Blood Diamond. Never mind, I'm not biased at all. Rising Sun Esports actually is kind of a favorite as well here, given that they have made it pretty far and have some good support in the chat. So make sure you support, show your support in the chat, and also make sure you submit your votes on event.brawlstars.com. Getting into the games already, Ring of Fire off to a hot start. Rising Sun Esports laying claim to that zone very early on. We'll see Dempsey on the Bonnie on the right lane kind of getting outdone by Aaron. It's going to be hard for him to hit his shots when Aaron is able to pick up basically free damage on such a slow target and dash out of the way, though Mameshi steps up to the plate to get a little damage too. Down goes Wahochi. Rising Sun Esports still have the lead on this point.
Is it me, or am I seeing what could be like 3 mid brawlers played on the same roster here? Like Byron, Byron, Bonnie, and Pam. They could all be played through mid, so I'm not sure about the drafting process for this one, but their comeback seems to be going quite strong at the moment. Wahochi and Aaron over this left-hand side, quite low, so having to heal up. Mameshi sitting in the mid, full health with his Pam turret down as well, and now they're going to be taking the lead.
Recall that at a point, the way to play this map was to pick 3 healers, and it was probably the last time that we've seen Poco actually win a game in a while in the BSC when that was played. Still, though, the draft is not going to be really favoring these 3 mids working together. Rising Sun Esports are seriously making it work with the Lola, which I think is a amazing pick when it comes to mid. Look how Wahochi's able to spread out so much damage with the ego. It does end up going down, but he's able to cover so much area and hold back Blood Diamond very effectively. Not a one-man army by any means, but when you got some amazing players, especially the Stu play blew me away, you're gonna have a good time. And so far, a great start, especially for the Lola play.
I mean, Rising Sun just looked amazing there, and you saw in those last closing seconds the Janet flying, he lands directly on them. If they shoot at him, he takes up their ammo, and if not, his teammates are going to be sitting on their zone nice and tidy because he's going to be able to hit them with a pinch. So it was a really good position to just land there and play, you know, in that aggressive scenario when there's only 10% left to claim. Back into the game now, and Rising Sun with another amazing start.
It seems like Aaron is just dodging out all of the incoming damage so effortlessly, and he's gonna probably do it again. Mameshi is getting in close range. Aaron does have to retreat, thankfully, as Ryohi and Wahochi at his backs. Another speed zone popped in to help the rollout operate a little bit faster. Wahochi getting good value off of the freeze frame as well. Ryohi with an aggressive super in here, gonna get the kill on Milk Rio. And once more, this is pretty much a runaway victory for Rising Sun Esports to start things off. I think one of the biggest things that we've seen is Byron played as a lane here, and it's not working out so well. Milk Rio, pretty much renowned for his ability to play this brawler, but this is not the usual position we'd see him played in. Byron usually does not die because he's playing mid and he's hanging back the entire game, and it doesn't seem like the way that Milk Rio has played Byron for so long is lending itself to a successful lane so far.
Yeah, we'll say as well, BD only 10% away from a loss here, so the need to keep this zone, and it seems all right so far, but Aaron coming up now with his super, going to be able to get some dashes through, and does actually get taken down on the side of Ryohei by the Byron takedown damage. But on they come now. Wahochi's going to join Aaron on the zone. And
nice.
Very, very dominant first set.
Very dominant, and I think very well drafted. This was unconventional by Blood Diamond, and it takes a lot of courage to get that kind of draft. It takes a lot of tactfulness to be able to get 3 mids on your side, but once more, it takes a lot of boldness in order to even attempt running something like that. Unfortunately for them, it didn't pay off. The traditional stuff is still going to reign supreme as well.
Hello, Raj Indian Gaming. What's up?
I'm curious to see what the bands
How are you doing?
on the next set, but rolling back the footage from the last one, once more, well drafted, well played by Rising Sun. I would say that it's almost likely that Aaron on the Stu is enough to get Blood Diamond to ban out Stu in the coming games.
That's definitely a possibility. I mean, I believe we have Pinhole Punt up next, so it's not a bad brawler there. It's playable, and especially if you play it as well as Aaron has. So that could definitely be something that they're a little bit scared of now that he has just absolutely destroyed them with it. But in my eyes, Blood Diamond played well, but the draft was just really not there in my opinion. So if they sort that out, it's definitely going to be much more of an even matchup.
And I think the brawlers were good. It's just the way that they were forced to play, thanks to how this map is played, was suboptimal. And I think a great example we could bring it back to is Milkrio on the Byron. Milkrio is a fantastic
study.
One of
क्या बात
in this region, but this is not
study करते करते आपका यहाँ आना कैसे हुआ
play that has got
बताइए हमें.
stage. He's forced to play it on the lane. It simply didn't work out, and that maybe is going to be a lesson in the coming games. It's going to be quite challenging in order to adapt that quickly, since there's not a whole lot of time between separate sets, and you're applying kind of this lesson, if anything, to a totally different mode as well. So we'll see how they make use of it, but the bans are coming through, Trav, and this is quite peculiar, but I'm comforted to see Carl among those bans.
Honestly, I love seeing it. I love seeing Carl be played, to be honest. I don't like it, obviously having it banned, it usually amounts to a much more even game, which is just better for the viewers. But I love that brawler. It's just so good. The maneuverability, super as well, and just be able to slice and dice like he does as of recent, at least with this projectile speed buff. He's doing really, really well. Other bands, you know, Crow, Janet, Penny for BD, Rising Sun, Leon, Gale, Carl. I kind of like all of them, to be honest. I don't think there's an outlier ban there that's just a little bit questionable or targeted.
And when I say peculiar, I mean, it's like a little bit too perfect. It's a little bit too textbook. Usually you see something bizarre slip through the cracks, and this time I'm getting a funny feeling at how much radio silence there is here. Crow is always going to be a great brawler on Pinhole Punt. Rest in peace to Pinhole Punt, by the way, since it's getting rotated out.
मैं स्टडी करते करते पक गया था.
Great first pick.
क्या बात है.
Needs no introduction. Leon, Gale's going to be great for defending, and Leon's just good all around. Probably is
क्या स्टडी कर रहे थे वैसे?
perhaps a last pick as well. I think this is also going to open
What you are studying?
what we can explore in terms of tanks, because Ashe, I think, is going to be a pretty strong one here, given that Byron is still available. Milkrio, I'm looking at you to bring out the Byron here. But in terms of other brawlers that could be played here, Daryl has been making a splash recently and has certainly been one to behold when it's in the hands of Shtetampo, but really anyone else who knows how to use that role and keep up that shield as much of the percentage of the time as they can.
I will say that I think, you know, Daryl's pick rate goes down and down and down and down as Carl gets banned out. I think that's kind of the main reason it's being brought in quite a lot, and fairly successfully as of recent as well. Just that pick of Carl being so prominent, it makes Daryl, you know, be one of the main brawlers in the meta just purely because it's a counter pick to that brawler. But at the end of the day, you know, on this map, Daryl's not bad. You bring it in with, you know, some healing, the Daryl, and I'd love to see, you know, the Byron and an Ashe. That would be a great composition, you know, the double tank healer. And I must say, you know, that Trav guy in Chaos Cup, they did bring in a bit of a Poco Daryl here. So
हिस्ट्री, अरे भाई मुझे समझ नहीं आता है हिस्ट्री विस्ट्री पढ़ाई का फायदा क्या होता है.
It's been a moment since we've
क्या सिखाना क्या चाहते हैं हिस्ट्री पढ़ा के?
for tuning for
कि तलवार लेके जाओ, घुस जाओ, मारो पीटो, ऐश करो.
that we see, but sometimes he's brought in for that second gadget as well. That's
मुगलों ने ये किया, अंग्रेजों ने ये किया,
oh man, there's the creep.
उनने ये कब्जा कर लिया, उनने वो कब्जा कर लिया. अरे भाई वो तो खत्म हो गई. आधी की कहानी बताओ ना क्या हो रहा है जी. रशिया वर्ल्ड वॉर हो रहा है, क्या करना चाहिए क्या नहीं.
Will say, well played by Rising Sun to start things off. They force Milkrio out. What seems to be a very smooth and easy almost first goal for Rising Sun Esports. They popped off on the right lane in the beginning. They ran it down. The Mameshi is going to get denied pretty hard here on the left side as well. It's already down to a 3v2.
Dempsey making moves, so he gets bursted down. They manage to avoid the damage, and he can't quite get it in. Aaron and Wahochi still surviving now.
That was close.
Control the mid. Squeak trying to throw some shots out, but Mameshi just needs to pick his targets better and go aggressive in certain scenarios, because if he doesn't, then this could go quite wrong for Blood Diamond once more.
Double kill for Wahochi on the left side. A pass up to Dempsey, and that's going to be a goal for Blood Diamond. beautifully played on the Mort on the left side when it comes to Mameshi on this Mort. He doesn't have a super now, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle. A dash forward, he's going to get in close range versus Ryohi, and that's probably who he's going to be magnetized to the most throughout this game, since Squeak's close range capabilities are quite lacking, and Wahochi still is able to pump out a whole lot of damage, but in close range, he's not able to fire it off fast enough. No, there's no defense here from Mameshi. He's on the Mort, and Wahochi can walk it in with so much health, and already it's game number 1 headed to BD.
Yeah, great play from them, and I will say, you know, Mortis, if you pick your opponents well, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with, hence why he was able to score that goal. Picked his time, went in perfectly, but after that, and before that as well, it just wasn't right.
Rising Sun Esports is on a win streak, 3 games in a row. Mameshi is going to try and throw a wrench in that rhythm, though he's not able to just yet. Wahochi gets a free super off of it, and a freeze frame 2 is going to lock down mid. Dempsey and Milkrio both really weak on the right side as they have been brought to very low health. Dempsey also going to jump forward to try and push his backline a little bit forward. It's going to work pretty miraculously as well, as Mameshi can return to this fight. Milkrio also going for a speed. No way! And a team kill here from Ryohi. A total pop-off on the Squeak. And a little bit of running down the clock for Rising Sun Esports, as they're now one goal away, in fact, from taking it to a set number 3 and a flawless set of victories.
As much as they need to book their ideas up, boys, this is going to be going quite swiftly to Rising Sun here. Mortis pinned heavily, and then the right side goes down as well. Milkrio is there, but the Rising Sun are going to be 2 sets up.
And that has to be the most dominating game that we've seen yet today. Rising Sun Esports slotting in one after the other, not even letting that game go to a minute in. Such domination, and you can see the gears turning on the side of BD. Countered out pretty hard. Colonel Ruffs in close range. Same goes for Lola, especially at mid-range as well. She pumps out so much damage. And the other thing you got to consider when you're a tank, or as much of a tank as Mortis is, but when you're a source of super, I guess you could say, a battery for an enemy super, you're going to be handing it to the enemy whenever you charge straight into their face. And we actually did see a double kill by Mameshi here, which was kind of his saving grace, but it's only 1 goal, and his teammates were doing phenomenal at the same time as well, which opened up that possibility for a great play. That said, Rising Sun Esports, I think that they were prepared for a tank to arrive, and this Mortis pick was just a little ambitious.
I mean, I don't mind it. It's good against the Squeak, it's good against the Ruffs if the Ruffs doesn't have super, but you're also going to be feeding a lot of the supers to Aaron, and that's just not where you want to be. As you said, it's just a supercharging battery, really, at the end of the day, when it comes down to Mortis in stuff like this in Brawl Ball. You have those moments where you're going to pop off. It's inevitable at that point. As soon as you get your bats and a few of them are together, you're going to get those double kills, the goals, but there's just not enough of those moments in those Brawl Ball games to make it valuable.
And I think another thing that we saw kind of struggle here was Abani just constantly getting piled a lot of health on this brawler. She's not able to dodge very well, and she boasts not that great of a rate of DPS, I suppose. And when it comes to pinhole punt, range is not really that much of a concern unless it's overtime. And if it's overtime, I would honestly kind of prefer a B over something like a Bonnie. So obviously overtime was not a concern here. It was just an attempt to outrange at mid, but on pinhole punt, when speed gear exists in the game and you got a whole big ring of bushes, Imps is probably going to be your bread and butter. Ruffs a close second. Lola also phenomenal at handling that. We're going to be moving into set 3 pretty soon here, and it's going to be Canal Grand on Bounty, and this is a great one. I think this is really our chance to see some successful tank play.
Well, we've seen them learning from before. It looks like Carl's going to be... Oh, maybe that was the last one. Bans game 3. I think it says Bans game 3 there. Carl going to be banned out. Janet and Penny, Surge, Sprout, and Squeak. So they've learned from the mistakes of the games before them, and Carl is not going to... Actually, it was BD who actually played against Carl, I think. Or played...
आपका favorite subject कौन सा था?
Some do not want to have that same
मेरा favorite subject...
Penny, BD gets...
भाई ऐसा तो कोई favorite subject था नहीं. मेरा favorite subject था ECA. Extracurriculum activity.
Well, Canal Grand is one of those maps that can be very I would say unexpected when it comes down to what brawlers consider. If we talk EU, we saw Reply Totem do amazing stuff with a Buzz here, which is a brawler it's been so long since we've seen in the competitive sphere, but Canal Grande lends itself to that. You need mobility, and you need the ability to confirm a kill as well. And whether that means you're running Jean or it means that you're running Carl, who has who is running Protective Pirouette as well, or Buzz, who has a great mobility-based gadget and super and gets a stun, then yeah, you're going to be able to succeed in that scenario. But this is another one where I'm looking at Ashe to potentially succeed here. The biggest counter to Ashe is going to be him not being able to have a Byron. And since Byron will be slipping through this draft, it's something that we ought to watch out for carefully. The other thing to consider is that Eve isn't banned, and she's one of the best brawlers on this map, but she gets countered out pretty hard by Carl. Now that he's banned, I think we'll see an Eve first pick.
Possibly so. I feel like Eve's just dropped off quite heavily though, and as you say, maybe it'll come in because Carl's not in the mix, and that might make it that little bit better, but it did have a nerf anyway, and it's the same with Byron as well. They haven't been seen anywhere near as much as they had beforehand, before these nerfs, so maybe not a first pick, maybe it will be, but I'd like to see it a little bit later on down the line, see how the draft plays out first before you get a brawler like that.
Well, let's see. Here comes Mameshi on the Jean and Milkrio on the Bow as well. One of the best brawlers on this map, hands down. We also see Aaron on the Daryl. That's evidence of a last pick right there. Hopefully it works out for him. He is going to get taken down by Dimsy. Remarkable stuff, considering that Dimsy is on the tick, and that's a hard brawler to not only kill confirm with, but especially in close range. Already a lead here for Blood Diamond. Mameshi's going to be working on getting his super up, which he does have now. Aaron getting in close range. A lamp blowout by Mameshi. Jump in. No lamp blowout to deal with Wahochi. Dempsey also is going to fall to that supply drop, but that's killing two birds with one stone. If I've ever seen that on Canal Grande, and Rising Sun Esports have taken back the lead as soon as they lost it.
Here comes Aaron, no support though, the pull is wasted, used it, got the takedown anyway, so it was not the biggest waste, but could have been used in a different circumstance. I'm not sure what Ryohei was trying to work for there, just walks directly in and gets taken out, provides him with the lead, and same with Wahochi.
Well, looks like Ryohei got quite confident there, and it almost paid off. In fact, he was almost able to get out of there. Milkrio, though, had some great dodges, and that's what won him that interaction there. That said, Blood Diamond still leading confidently. Aaron trying to push back the back lines. This right side is pretty much going to be forfeited by Dimsy, and the lane switch comes in as Bo is going to try and make this happen. Still, he's going to be kind of lackluster in close range. Aaron, though, is going to get tripped up on the roll in, it looks like, and he might end up having to pay the price as well. Mameshi, though, amidst all that mayhem, does get taken down by Wahochi, and Dempsey's able to fire back, get a kill confirmation of himself once more on Aaron. With just a few seconds left, 15-second countdown active, Blood Diamond is in the lead, but here comes Aaron with yet another super.
Wahochi as well down the left-hand side, we can't forget about that as well. In he comes, Daryl rolls there, he rolls through it, they've got the shots on, they get the blue star, there's no take.
Oh yeah.
Get the second shove, and they actually managed to take it with a massive turnaround from the Bonnie, and Daryl coming in. Match point is going to be in the hands of Rising Sun.
Remarkable stuff by Rising Sun. Expect nothing less, but also that was quite lucky. Very calculated Daryl play, I gotta say, as well. As Aaron has been getting taken down a handful of times by Dimsy, but never really leaves an interaction without getting a kill along the way. Also, got to hand it to Wahochi for holding on to the super for so long and using it at exactly the right moment. You saw how close Rising Sun Esports were to falling there. They had barely any health left, but that's just a result of knowing exactly when in the countdown you need to start making a move, and a blue star will win it. As close as it was still a win, and now it's a match point.
Yeah, blue star is what is deciding it so far. We do have Bonnie over the left-hand side trying to get some shots into Milkrio. The pinches across as well, but Tick is raining fire. The sandbags are there. Ryohei goes down, but Milkrio does get traded out, and it's still, they do have the lead.
Dimsy has a super also to defend himself. It might not be enough to take on Aaron solo, but Mameshi is here, and he does have a lamp blowout that he's ready to use. Milkrio also blowing up the left side. Wahochi gets his super back. He's back in the cannon, but he's taking a beating alongside it. And even with that damage gear active, he is going to be quite crippled as he is slow and doesn't have too much health. Now finds an opportunity to heal up. On the right side, we see the tick super used. Not going to get any damage with it, but does force the enemy back just a little bit. Still, though, that's not really the objective here. It looks like Blood Diamond, they're still backed up so far into their own spawn. Only 30 seconds left. Rising Sun has the lead, and they have mid control. Down goes Wahochi, though, and now the lead is back in Blood Diamond's favor.
Bowmine out of nowhere to clutch that one up, and they do have this super. They've got the Daryl super in hand. Bonnie needs to work for hers before this last closing push, or as this could be just a one-sided push, and they do go in. Dempsey's there to be taken down. The pull comes in onto Aaron, so he gets knocked back and taken out, but in comes Ryo. Hey, the shot's there. The shot follows up as well, but they
oh, 1 point difference.
And Blood Diamond managed to cling onto the last string of hope. Rising Sun will remain on match point as they can't quite bring that one back.
Well done by Blood Diamond. I think, honestly, in game number 1, that was a Blood Diamond win right there, and a clutch when it came to the very end for Rising Sun Esports. Blood Diamond has been playing really, really well throughout this set. Game number 2 started to look a little bit more in the favor of Rising Sun Esports, though, I will admit. That said, Mameshi will pick up a kill to start things off. He already has a super. He's going to be the most vulnerable. There's a lamp blowout, too, and Aaron has baited 1 out of Mameshi so far, and he's going to be getting as many supers in versus Mameshi as he possibly can, so there's no CC to defend at the end. In the process, Aaron is going to actually get another lamp blowout baited out. Interesting that Mameshi would use it there, but he's got to know what he's doing already. Blood Diamond is backed up pretty far. Milker is doing a fantastic job of backing things up on the left side, obviously hoping to get another stun to bring back the pace of the game with his super. And also, supply drop for Wahochi is going to speed things up on the left side. A minute left, and so many chances for Rising Sun Esports to bring it back.
Yeah, they can play for these closing seconds, though. If Wahochi can get the super, and he does just that, they have a good amount of supers to get a push going, but so do BD. They've got the mines, they've got the take head for when they roll in, the gene pulse there to deflate it as well onto the Ruffs or Daryl if they've got enough players there to take it down, but Wahochi, super in hand, Aaron as well, so they need to make this closing push. 35 seconds on the clock, it's going to be done fairly soon.
It doesn't look really like Aaron minds not rolling in yet because he has his roll, he has exactly what he wants, and he's been powered up so much so far by Ryohi, even getting some field promotions. Yeah, give a little bit of field promotion, show a little bit of love to Wahochi as well. He's nearing the 10,000 health mark, and he'll be able to jump in with a whole lot of power as well. He'll be hanging on to that supply drop. Very powerful Rising Sun Esports push in here. That last lamp blowout. No way, it's going to be their saving grace. On the left side, Milkrio goes down, but it was a necessary sacrifice. Wahochi all the way locked in, and the kill comes in as well. Blood Diamond sends us to another set. Set number 4 on the way with a win under the belts of Blood Diamond.
Yeah, it was a good roll into the gene pool to tank a lot of the shots coming in, so he got the shield and he got to the same position he wanted to anyway, but the lamp blowout straight back into those bow mines was just nasty. Get him out the way and make it a 3v2, and, you know, with Bonnie jumping in, he might be able to get the bow, but any of the other ones, the range is just too short after jumping in.
Yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate. I mean, look, the thinking was clearly there. The reason was very clearly there as well. Just got to hand it to Gene for spacing out the lamp blowouts like he did. It was well played throughout this entire set by Mameshi. I think in a large way held the pacing of the match together. Also got to give kudos to Milkrio for facing off in the 1v1 versus Bonnie the entire game. And only a few times slipped and stumbled a little bit. Here comes that clutch by Rising Sun Esports. What a beautiful way to start off this set. But Blood Diamond showing that they are stone cold. They do not falter under pressure. Bring them to a match point after kind of a clutch, and they'll still play very cool and calculated throughout the remaining games.
They need to as well, because there's definitely, you know, a bit of turnaround capability here for Blood Diamond. They have a chance to bring this back now. It's just 2 consecutive sets. I know that's a lot to ask, but if you think about it, they only need to win 2, and Rising Sun still need to win 1. So, you know, it's not that bad. The odds aren't terrible. They've just got to get another 2 in the bag. But if this reverse sweep does happen, I mean, I love Blood Diamond, but I'm not sure if I can see it happening for 2 in a row.
Neither can I. It is going to be a completely different Blood Diamond in a way. Like, I love Blood Diamond, but that wouldn't be very Blood Diamond for them to take 2 sets in a row. Still, though, I'm all for change, and I'm all for character development for these guys. It's been completely renewed and rejuvenated attitude from them so far today, and it's so evident in their gameplay so far. So, once more, well done. I'm liking the new BD. When it comes to Rising Sun Esports, though, I expect greatness, and I expect a grand final, and we'll see if they're able to deliver on that. Does seem like they, once more, were bringing just about the same energy and the same fire in the last set, but this time, Blood Diamond simply had more.
Yeah, we know what R could say if he was here. He'd say, how do you expect Blood Diamond to win 2 sets in a row when until today they hadn't even won a set at all? And then he'd do some bellowing laugh like he always does and just laugh at Blood Diamond. But in reality, you know, there's a chance. There's always a chance of a Blood Diamond comeback in my eyes. And as much as I doubt it'll happen, it's always going to be there. Rising Sun as well. But they're just playing so well. I think, honestly, they should have taken those games. With the amount of control they had, it just seems like, how weren't they able to do it? Keeping Bonnie in the cannon form and keep that range, it should have been 3-0 in my eyes.
Well, you got to attribute one of the wins, the first win there, to Bonnie messing up slightly. And that's the deal with Bo. That's why he gets banned out so much, and that's why Carl often makes it past the draft, because he counters Bo, and Bo is so annoying to play against. If you make one mistake, that's GG. That's game over. That disrupts the entire rhythm of the game. It's incredibly demoralizing to be stunned by a mine, and if you're Bonnie, you're so slow. It is hard to get that perfect. And we saw just once is all it took to get the stars in the favor of Blood Diamond and bring it back. And it all came down to a bow mine. Now, I'm a believer in Rising Sun, right? I think that they can get a mental reset and not let that mistake affect them too much, because in a large way, it came down to some mistakes that were capitalized on by BD that led them to not get the win in the last set. Though it's a slippery slope once more. Momentum is a huge thing. Right now, it's 100% in favor of Blood Diamond.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be momentum in favor of Blood Diamond, but we can't forget as well, you know, until this one, Rising Sun still had 2 sets in hand, and they're not going to be wavered too much about this one set being dropped. So they're still going to have some momentum from way back when they did win those 2 sets in a row, because they're still feeling good about it, I feel. You know, in my eyes, I said it probably should have been a 3-0. So they're still confident, I feel, and still got very much of a big chance to be able to take it. We do have Harder at Mine, though, and I believe the bans are in. We've got Colonel Ruff, Squeak, and Carl. Janet, Bonnie, and Penny are going to be the bans as well.
Well done. I'm liking the bans so far, though. Carl, I'm going to miss him just a little bit. Though, another brawler that I think, once more, okay, he counters out Carl in a large way. Carl is responsible for why he has not appeared. But Daryl, I wonder if we'll see some close-range brawler play. It looks like Ryohi will be picking up the stew. So you know what? I think that satisfies my aggro itch. And he'll have to still dodge out the damage from Ameshi, who can change the way that he strafes in order to get a wider spread on that attack, a higher likelihood of hitting Ryohi. Already a huge aggression by Ryohi as he heads this charge. Aaron also pretty much standing in the same area as usual, just picking up these gems, trying to farm up the super. Great destruction of the lollipop drop as well, with a pinch between Wahochi and Aaron as well. With that speed zone down, it's going to be pretty easy for Aaron to dip in and out, but it doesn't have much bearing on control, since he's able to make a quick retreat, that's for sure, but it doesn't mean that he's going to have as much space and influence as he likes.
Yeah, Paul going to be missed from Aaron as well, and I'd have loved to see him on the stew once more, to be honest, with how well he played that. It would have been great to see him on it once more, but Dempsey surviving. Now Aaron comes in, and the lollipop drop does tank a shot as well, survives once more. Milk-Rio on a slither of HP, but Ryohi trying to make a move towards Mameshi. Does get a couple of shots connecting. Bow mines down again. They're looking to deactivate them just now.
Ryohi has disarmed all of those mines, now making an offensive on the right side. He's very low on health. Thankfully, Aaron is by his side with some magic pus. Ryohi gets really chipped down, and he will end up falling to a pinch between Mameshi and Milgrio, who now gets taken down as well. Wahochi taking all of these gems. Aaron also trying to back up just a little bit. The more pressure that these guys can maintain, the better. But Aaron Wahochi are so far backed up that neither of them will be taken down. It's not even necessary to have 10 gems on either side, and this is going to be Rising Sun Esports once more pushing it to a match point.
Match point for Rising Sun then. Blood Diamond, they definitely had a part in that game. They weren't fully out of it. They weren't fully in it either, though, because, you know, a few of those crow jumps, great positioning, the Stu going aggressive as well, and I just don't think they've got enough defense around the gem carrier to really get too much done. But the Rising Sun, on the other hand, they were looking great. The aggression paired with some really nice gem carrying from Aaron, and not being, you know, one of those unreliable gem carriers you get on ladder.
Already from Blood Diamond, a bit of an improvement in the gameplay, I think. Careful positioning of these turrets is going to get them a little bit of room. In fact, Milkrio's already picked up 4 gems. Wahochi also going to have to spend some time disarming these mines, but it's going to be a lot easier with Speed Zone active. Mameshi does fall. Ryohi is almost going to take down Dempsey with the combo of the slow from Wahochi and the speed that Ryohi has with his kit. It's going to confirm a pinch. Milkrio is backed all the way out of mid into the back right corner, and Aaron has a super to match. It doesn't look like he's really going to pull him just yet, but it will provide him a whole lot of pressure. Someone's an ideal target here. It's hard to tell exactly who. It's probably going to be Milkrio, since he does have 4 gems and no super just yet in order to block out the super. Dempsey can also counter out Aaron by throwing down a lollipop drop. And we'll see Aaron actually take quite a bit of damage here, but Dempsey still falls in the end. Milkrio also going to dodge out that pull. Beautiful stuff, and a lot of faith placed in the magic hand there by Aaron just a moment ago. Hopefully it doesn't mean too much of a disadvantage for Rising Sun.
Milkrio's going to burn down, and they're 1 gem away from a countdown now, because there is one laying on the floor. If they pick that one up, there it is. It spawns. Wahochi needs to stay up as well now, though, but Ryohei putting some great pressure on Dempsey. Hit by the crow, marked up, not going to be able to fly under the radar, whether he goes in biz or in the bushes now. Jump available from Wahochi as well, but he needs to stay passive. That might be a good exit route. Bow mine's thrown down, though, and they're going to be pinched in. The stun hits on it as well. He jumps onto the mine as well, and Ryohei's the only one who's surviving. He's got the dashes, though, but he can't get the takedown. The big turnaround from Blood Diamond as they run away with all of Rising Sun's gems.
And there's simply no comeback for Rising Sun. Not from here. Wahochi has no super. Aaron has no pull. Ryohi has no super. And despite their best efforts, and honestly, quite a good push through towards...
Hello, Madhuri Roy. How are you? Kaise hain?
One game is all that separates us from having a grand finals contender in the form of Rising Sun or having another set number 5. I gotta say, Trav, these semifinals matches have been so close, and I could not be happier, especially since Blood Diamond is a serious underdog here, and they just might make it happen and push it to set 5.
Serious underdog, but still a serious contender by the looks of how this game is playing out. Dempsey with a nice tank with that lollipop drop for the Stu. Milkrio getting hit a few times. I believe Slow came in onto the bow there, which means he should go down. Actually, it didn't. The knockback's not there either. Mameshi cleans up. Blood Diamond, 5-0 lead, and looking to try to take it to set 5.
I think in a large way, Mameshi is responsible for the momentum shift, as he's playing the most aggressive bow I think I've ever witnessed, except for that time that I played Gold in Power League. But still, Mameshi is getting good value off of popping down those totems on offense. An amazing pull as well, but it looks like a few gems will be swooped up here and there. Good recovery as Mameshi is taken down. Complete encirclement on the right side. Down falls Dempsey. It's still not a win just yet for Rising Sun, but this next gem is going to spawn. Ryohi picks it up, and Blood Diamond have to get a single kill on the enemy side in order to disrupt this countdown. But Rising Sun Esports, even if they do fall, will get all these gems near their home base.
Yes, 3, 3, and 4 as well, so they all need to survive. Wahochi goes in for a big jump, but can't quite get out. Aaron's going to fall as well. Ryohei picks up all the gems, survives, but there's mines to his left. Wahochi's going to recover these 10 now, and they can't quite get him out, but this is a bad position to be in. 10 gems, 15 seconds, and fully in spawn, you're going to have to do some serious defense.
already. Down goes one. Ryohi's up next. Wahuchi falls, but here comes the respawn, and Aaron's gonna be ready for the task, and he will miss the magic hand as well. Another mine goes off too. Everyone's so encircled, so much health on the line for Blood Diamond. Aaron's gonna go down, and it's a team kill as well. Ryohi will survive, and he survives with gas heal just long enough, and Dempsey won't be able to pick up enough gems to bring this one back, and this looks like exactly what Rising Sun Esports needed to prolong this just long enough to get all the gems on one player and run it back for an advancement to the grand finals.
They have a bit of time now, but those mines are there. Milkrio's trying to get the pressure, but Wahoche's just going to jump away. Rising Sun have done it. They make it to the finals of the East Asia Monthly Final, and they're going to be facing off against a fierce opponent in Zeta Division.
Amazing stuff. Expect nothing less from Rising Sun Esports. And once more, their opponent, Blood Diamond, is... I mean, they had nothing to lose coming into this. This is a fantastic accomplishment for them to make it to the semifinals and also perform so well against Rising Sun, who's repeatedly performed so well in this region and made it to the grand finals before. All in all, a very, very satisfying performance from both teams. Unfortunately, we got to wave goodbye to one of them, but Rising Sun, these guys will seriously be able to give a rough time to Zeta Zero in the grand finals. That's for sure.
Yeah, Blood Diamond playing absolutely phenomenally today, though. Those roster changes and mid-season improvements they've been making are definitely paying off, because it's just a completely different thing to what we've seen in the past months with this roster.
Ryohi was such a key player during this entire match, and that came to fruition, especially when it came down to heading the charge with the stew play. But also, Mameshi seriously showing us what he's capable of too. This is a world-class player, recently joining the roster, breathing new life into things, mixing things up a little, and you saw the aggressive bow play, how well it worked for funneling in the enemies towards mid so that Blood Diamond could pick them off and get their gems. It worked well in game number 1. Game number 2 came around, and we saw a little bit more of that, but it simply wasn't enough to take down the likes of Rising Sun Esports, which speaks to simply how strong this team is.
Yeah, I mean, those consistent resets and spawn there, it was just absolutely ridiculous. I think they must have got 4 or 5 in a row, but they seemed to just have one player remaining to pick up the gems or stall long enough to keep them in spawn at least. So that just amazing plays, the respawn cycle, and they just weren't able to get the gems out at all and ended up providing even more to them. And with a 3-piece as well, they were eventually able to get that countdown finished to 0 seconds and take the win. But now they've got an even tougher opponent to face off against.
That's right, we got our grand finals coming up as well, and for that, we're gonna bring back Ark. He's been waiting in the wings, has been resting up for a colossal matchup and seeing how things shape up as well. Now, Ark, I wasn't there to tease you for it, but Blood Diamond won, but they also lost. But it's cool, right? Because we got Rising Sun in the grand finals now.
I was just sitting here, you can see the expressions, but oh, the bias in the room today, my word. If only I was in that game. Like, you're very polite, you're very courteous, but I would have been given, I would have let loose. I wouldn't be having it, mate. Trav, come on, mate, come on. What's with all the bias today? What's with all the bias? Is it just
no bias in here. No bias.
Nah, definitely not. No, thoroughly exciting. And to be fair, Blood Diamond have needed that boost for a while now, and especially double points. That's an exciting thing. I mean, they've had a rough end of the brackets, and again, they failed to get a single game until now. But to how today started off, Zeta Division 0 with a big win.
So Zeta Division versus Rising Sun Esports.
Their
Chalo.
sister organization, Zeta Division 1, the MSI champs, that, you know, I mean, what a day for them. And looking to try to end today as they did back in May. Zeta Division 1, of course, you know, made it to the semi-finals, didn't quite, well, the closest matchup today was the Zeta matchup, no doubt about it. But Blood Diamond as well, very, very valiant attempt. We are going to, however, see that Rising Sun Esports grudge match against Zeta Division 0 that we saw back in May.
Amazing matchup that we have in the grand finals. I gotta say, Zeta Division 0, I was a bit of a believer in them, and they were able to take down Zeta Division 1. I mean, we've had so many bangers throughout the day, and what a way to finish things off. We can see Zeta Division 0 ascend to that #1 spot, or we could see Rising Sun have a real run for that #2 spot, with Zeta 1 eliminated a little bit earlier on. Just as a reminder, points are doubled after MSI, so the leaderboard is going to be a lot more volatile, especially since some of the top contenders are going to end up on the same bracket as each other.
Yeah, Trav will be pleased about that. Absolutely so. I mean, predictions-wise, it's not been a great day for me, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I think Trav's got a smirk look on his face for a pretty decent reason, to be fair. I mean, going into this next one, guys, gonna ask the question. Ready, set. Where's your head at on this one? Who are you thinking? Ready? You know, Zeta Division 0 or Rising Sun Esports?
This is 100% Zeta Division 0. I'm sorry, I want to put some faith in Rising Sun Esports, but Zeta Division 0 are simply on a different level, and we saw how close it went versus Zeta Division 1 as well. Both of those teams are remarkable. You're talking the MSI winners versus their sister team, and their sister team takes them down. This is the final boss of the world right now, and if Rising Sun are going to be challenging Zeta Division 0 in a realistic sense, they're going to be challenging the entire globe of Brawl Stars.
Same question, Trav, I'm going to ask it, but you know, it's Blood Diamond are not there. If they were, I know what it would be. Rising Sun or Zeta Division 0?
I'm going to go for Rising Sun. I think. Honestly, I'll take a bit of a wild card pick here. I'm all about my wild cards today, as you know, guys. But honestly, they've been playing so well. Like, don't get me wrong, Zeta have as well. But it's just the fact that, you know, they're a little bit of an underdog story. They come into this, nothing to lose. They've got to a finals before, they lost it. This time, they're going to bring it home.
You're all about the underdog stories today, Trav. All about it. Well, that's our thoughts. So head over to events.brawlstars.com right now. Consider those as your options. I'm going in with Zeta Division 0 because, you know, I mean, I'm usually always right. But it has to be said that both these two teams have been in grand finals before. So we have to consider that there's the experience level there as well. But yeah, of course, make sure that you sync your Supercell ID over there so that you can get those in-game rewards and, of course, get towards that bell pin that's waiting there if you get to 1,000. I'm very close, very, very close. So I'm definitely guaranteed it by the end of the day, I'm sure. No doubt about it. But you know, it's been a very, very exciting day so far. I'm expecting fireworks ready set. I mean, that would be, you know, the only way that I'd like to end off today personally. But there's been so many amazing moments so far today.
Yeah, we can start off with Zeta Zero's journey to the top versus first Sang, then their sister team Z1 pulling off a nice victory over them, even if it was 3-2, and some killer moments throughout there, finding openings just big.
We are on to the finals.
Now they have to face.
Let's see what we can expect.
There's an argument to be made. How does this size up versus the match versus Z1? We'll leave that to the coming months in case we see that matchup once again. But there is no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a very interesting match that will reveal to us a lot of what the inner workings of East Asia have looked like in the offseason while MSI has been going on.
Absolutely. Well, Trav, you know, Rising Sun Esports did have a clash with Zeta Division 0 back in May in the semi-finals. It was a sweep. 0 took it 3-0. Does that kind of like, you know, sway you at all away? I mean, you're very, very passionately predicting Rising Sun, but you know, as we said earlier today, you know, we kind of like, you know, discussed already that Blood Diamond were in a very similar position. Does that sway you in any way?
I mean, obviously, there's some thoughts of, you know, they swept them last time, but they're just looking really strong. What can I say? They're looking strong. I've got faith in them, and I'm going to stick with it. I think they've still got it in the bag because, you know, Zeta Division, they've been looking incredibly good. But, you know, sometimes you've got to take the underdog, and maybe it's just my support that will give them that extra boost needed to beat Zeta Division.
Well, I admire your perseverance, Trevor. I admire your passion and your dedication towards the cause. The first map is going to be up. It's going to be double swoosh. Ready, set. You know, in terms of the drafts and stuff. What do you want to see here? Like, kind of what brawlers do you want to see banned, and what do you want to see in terms of the picks?
When it comes to double swoosh, always going to be a favorite of mine. Tara and Jean on the same team. Love the double pull, and I'm sure Trav is a big fan too, because Jean tees up a whole lot of plays and some free supers as well for Tara. So I like that combo, but in terms of other brawlers that we've seen throughout the day, they're kind of favorites of mine, specifically because they only appear on this map. Amber, I gotta say, breaks open the bushes on the right side. Just amazing stuff. It really illustrates how much of an asset the bushes on this map are.
I've heard Trav's semi-decent Tara. I mean, you may have got an incredible, super off in the MSI, and I may have had that as one of my proudest moments actually of MSI. What do you think of the Tara picks, Trav? Are you down for that double swoosh? Like, what else do you want to see picked and banned?
I mean, I'm always down for a Tara, to be honest. I'm always down for a Tara, but to be honest, I don't know if it's really that good in the meta at the moment. Support from Beyond's just going to get sliced by Carl, to be honest, so that's just absolutely nothing in there. And it's the same with any of the pets she's going to spawn. Tara pull can be good against Carl, yes, but I don't think he's really going to super towards her and feed that kind of stuff. I'd like to see if Carl comes in. I love Chitampo playing Daryl. I thought that was a really, really bold pick to have on double swoosh, but it paid off massively. Just sadly, they weren't able to take the set.
Yeah, I'd like to see some Pam myself. I think that Pam lane here is always a good shout, but I think, yeah, Carl, we need to see some Carl bans. I keep saying it on socials that teams have got to start to eradicate that particular brawler and just play around it, I feel, once it's out of the mix, in my opinion. But I'm already set as well. Amber here is a great go-to, the one that we sort of, I always sort of mention, like, Team Casso really kind of, like, for me at least, as a team across the regions, really dominated with that particular pick for me. But mid, obviously, is very, very important. We've seen a bit of a drop off of Byron, actually, so I'm not necessarily sure we'll see that. Jean's starting to make a little bit of a comeback in the mid control area side of things too, so there's a lot of options actually in double swoosh. Many aggressive brawlers as well to be able to push up upon the situation. Stu as well, as we saw actually, Zeta playing in MSI, having that Stu mid, I thought was a really interesting thing to have alongside that spin zone gadget. Yeah, many options here, ready set, and again, this is what makes this region so exciting, is that we see so many twitchy movements, so many great abilities to juke around the situation, and that's what makes East Asia so exciting for me, at least.
Yeah, and another thing that I got to say about East Asia that makes it exciting for me is that they are great at choosing comps that they have to make work. Brawlers that don't necessarily benefit from the map necessarily. Also, brawlers that rely on the synergy with their teammates too. One that blew me away when we saw it in East Asia a little bit back was the Piper mid on double swoosh. Okay, just putting into context to once more reaffirm that yes, we did see a Piper mid here, played by Zeta 1, and it won, of course, because every single comp that they run appears to be like some secret sauce. This is the kind of thing that only appears in like world finals, because it's something that people would be able to predict if they saw it even once, because it works well and it's so uncommon. It catches you by surprise, but once you see it in action, you can see why it works. Stu mid is a great example, I think, of that. You wouldn't expect him to be a great mid, but if you start treating mid like just any other lane, where any lane can flex onto any other lane, mid doesn't have this exclusive responsibility to pinch with teammates, right? And once you start making that realization, you can run something like a Stu mid and have great success with it.
This is the thing for me, that Zeta do redefine the meta for me, and they are constantly adapting and evolving, but the bans are in, Trav, and we are going to get some Carl bans on both sides, actually. Janet and Crow on the side of Zeta Division, as well as Max, Carl, and Squeak on the side of Rising Sun. How are you feeling?
अरे भाई जितनी देर से टाइम पास कर रहे हैं लोग, दिखाओ भाई, फाइनल दिखाओ.
Get Crow out of the way, get Carl out of the way. Janet, Max is good, especially in Zeta's hands, so I'm not surprised Ryzen sort of kind of got rid of that. But Squeak,
Finally,
it's a great
first match of the final, Zeta versus Sun.
Well, Trav, again, that time has come, my favorite time of the day. We're going to step you aside, and me and Really Set going to take this one on, but maybe we'll check in with you at the end. I mean, I'm not sure. Again, as I love to do so, maybe I'll get my way into some of production and they won't get you back on. But again, thanks for all your hard work, mate. Always appreciated. Really Set, let's go in. We got Barney, we got Stu and Amber on the side of Zeta Division 0. I really like that, to be fair. Bo, Penny, and Tara, though, is still a worthy comp on the other side of things.
Now we get a few of my favorite brawlers here on the right side. Kuru on the Amber and Ryohi on the Tara. Gonna find quite a bit of value there to start things off, but the bushes start to get burned away. And that's seriously gonna hurt for Ryohi because the bushes are basically his best friend right here. He doesn't have that long of range, especially versus Kuru. He doesn't have good damage output at long range, so he also needs to be able to use these bushes, use the swoosh that his team has been allocated to get in close range and get a Tara pull. So far, not a Tara pull in sight, and Kuru's going to be keeping him at range. On the left side, though, Pochi's doing a phenomenal job of pushing in with Bo. He is going to get countered out by a Choppy in close range, and that speed zone remains strong. Tensai is making great value of it. He seems to be pretty much untouchable by Aaron, though he has another super on lock. Of course, talking about Aaron here, though, it's going to be hard for him to find a good place to put that turret, as Zeta Zero actually gets quite close to a countdown.
Yeah, I do love this new mid that we see time and time again from Zeta and Tensai there, just clean up onto the left-hand side. But I've got to say as well, like, I love the way that Zeta are being very cautious around protecting that speed zone from the Penny Tower, which, you know, you've got to remember, Penny wasn't really a meta brawler at all in the last instances that we've really seen Zeta playing this new mid idea. But it's 9 gems to the 6. Aaron doing well on that side of things. The Bonnie going in now as well, taking quickly care of a nice little barrel gadget there as well. But the countdown is there, and Tensai's on the run.
And he's going to keep on running. He's got to get away from Aaron. Wahochi's looking to pinch him too, but Achapi has so much health and so much damage. There's a super coming down from Bo, but it's not going to do much in means of locking him down. Achapi jumps over to the right just for a little bit of fun. There's a Bonnie Heart pin to finish things off. And Tensai is pretty happy because they've already taken down Zeta 1. That's their primary rival. They've probably had plenty of time to prepare for this match versus Rising Sun Esports as well. Though Rising Sun, no slouches either. They put up a great fight in the early game. They took some risks as well with the brawler picks, especially Ryohi with the Tara here. Hopefully that bow totem survives just a little bit longer this time. Ryohi's able to get that free pull that the bow pick is almost exclusively for.
Yeah, it'd be great to be able to win that right-hand side lane early on before these... Well, I was going to say before the Amber Bush burn comes through, but there it is, and that's going to be a great advantageous position now for Zeta Division. Good pressure from the side. Kuru just pushing everything over and hurling the sheep accordingly, but a very important takedown there onto a Chappie, and that's going to change the flow of things. Now, the question is, can we see this Tara connection on the right-hand side? Can Ryoshi just start to win this lane side to be able to bring Rising Sun into a better position to the mid? And Kuru, though, being very, very aware of it, and that's the thing now. I need to see more on this right-hand side lane from this Tara side. We've got to see an aggressive stance being taken, but again, with more bush burn, there's less places to hide. That's the issue.
It feels like the only guarantee of the Tara pull is that it's not going to be on Kuru or Tensai. Tensai can dash away. Kuru has the range. Achapi has the range too, but he's not able to get away as quickly, and Ryohi might try to throw down the super at mid to grab it. Achapi is going to get quite aggressive to try and take this as well. He's going to get some decent damage versus Aaron and Ryohi. Jim is spawning close to the side of Rising Sun. Down goes Achapi. And Aaron will be able to advance super from him as well, but he's got to place it down soon, and here it comes actually, and the pull is not going to find anyone, but it will give a little bit of healing to Aaron for a short amount of time. Tensai trying to take it down.
Oh yeah,
disrupting things. Tensai snags a gem from the bottom left side of that gem mine. Rising Sun Esports, while they keep on pushing forward, are going to have a very tough fight and not much time to do it.
Tensai's in a good spot. The Penny Turret is not going to reach, and Aaron is the only...
GG's.
That is going to be Zeta Division 0, taking then the first set pretty comfortably for the most part. The Rising Sun far from out. Plenty of time for a comeback potential here to come. Maybe. We'll see. Rising Sun, though, at the moment for me, just couldn't quite get the control that they needed to have. You've got to put Zeta Division 0 really on the back foot early on, and again, getting inside their minds early is crucial, really. Once they get the momentum flowing, then we kind of tend to know from experience and history how that will present itself.
Yeah, and what history tells us is that Zeta 0 is going to be tremendously difficult to fight against, and some of these picks, we could see the reasoning behind them. Ryohi on the Tara, you can get great value comboing with the bow for a free pull, but it's just one free pull. and that's for the entire game. That's maybe your only chance at a pull. Consider the brawlers that were picked up by Zeta Zero here. They all outrange Tara, and Tara has some pretty decent range too. It is difficult to draft versus Zeta Zero, and it's difficult to draft, period. Tara obviously did not pan out to be the one here. It was a risk that didn't pay off, and Rising Sun Esports are probably going to have to continue taking these risks as well and sort of hoping that they pay off in the end. There's such thing as a calculated risk. I believe Tara was one of those. It just didn't pay off this time, and it's going to mean a set quite dominantly for Zeta Zero to start us off.
I agree. I feel like it could have been played a bit better as well. Like, if they swap lanes, I mean, like support from beyond for a gadget, Body's going to really struggle up against that. And I don't know why that wasn't a strat going in, really, because, yeah, against the Abbott, it just wasn't working. And there was no kind of adaptation there to kind of think around that draft. So definitely a few errors on the side of Rising Sun. I mean, during calls, at least, we saw a huge uprise in bow play, in amber play, or rather picks as well. And it was Lola back then. But obviously now Penny coming into the mix, and Carl being very, very dominant at the moment has slightly changed things along the way. But nice to see, though, from both sides, a good awareness of knowledge when it comes to the brawlers that really shape the meta in this particular region as well, which, again, show very much signs of consistency against other regions also. But again, banning that max pick, I think, was very smart from Rising Sun, as we know that Zeta will thrive off the back of having that as a great mid to have in Double Swoosh. So probably looking to see more consistent ideas moving forwards into our next map mode, which will be Hot Zone, of course. Dueling Beetles again is the map, and it's quite a challenging one at that, and being able to really lock down the lane size, it's a very restricted map. So again, having wall breakers is definitely going to be on the minds of both teams going into this one, and when we get the draft coming through, we'll let you guys know and talk it through, as it won't be on screen today. We've had a few technical issues on that side, but are working to resolve them as swiftly as possible. During Beetles, for me, I do love that Pam mid idea, having the healing station do its thing, and having Gale come in, drop Twister, lock down the mid. The order of the draft here, I think, is kind of crucial. You really do not want to commit with ideas that are going to be fantastic if there's no wall break, but you also then have to also consider the prospect that something could come up and kind of change the flow of things. I think Stu, as well, as we've seen already, can be a fantastic addition to have. Having that speed zone, which again, Breakthrough's taken a little bit of a back step in terms of the gadgets for Stu recently. We've seen a lot more speed zone coming through, as it just provides so much maneuverability. When you're looking at a region like East Asia, like their juking abilities are just built diff. I mean, everyone in the chat is saying it today, like, the way that these teams move is unreal. So having additional speed goes such a long way. And again, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see bans that reflect a similar idea, but they are in, I've got to say, Zeta Division 0 banning out Squeak, Bo, and Byron. Bo and Byron here, great bans. Penny, Janet, and Bonnie are the bans for Rising Sun. What do you make of that, Ready Set?
Well, Squeak won't be making it past the ban phase, but Max will be squeaking through, and I think that's going to be a pretty good asset for Zeta Zero, since they do have Tensai on their side. And even though Max isn't like a I would say iconic brawler for this map, I think it can work very well here, given that Tensai plays this brawler well as a support, but also as a DPS, consistently hitting those shots, having remarkable movement as well, which is something that you just mentioned and is one of the most defining factors of this region, is their insane movement. I would also recommend watching some of their YouTube videos as well, and just seeing how the joysticks move. It is insane how quickly these guys are at dodging, but also just the way they're always spamming the movement and the joysticks, and then still somehow finding some rhyme and rhythm to the stuff. But from a spectator's perspective, Tensai's Max is just insane. So since it's made its way through the draft, this might be a rough one for Rising Sun unless they plan on picking it up themselves. That said, also, Crow has not been banned out, and that's pretty much a direct counter to the brawler. There's a lot of depth to this draft on this map, I gotta say.
Yeah, I fully agree. By the way, I think Max could definitely show its face. It's, again, like you say, not necessarily a go-to here, but in this particular region, wouldn't be at all surprised to see it. It'll be Carl, Lola as well. I like the Lola mid here, really do. But it's actually going to be Tensai taking the mid for that early control. Gale coming through as well on the Bell. Sprout as well. So that was probably a final pick then from Rising Sun, because with little wall break potential here, Carl's going to thrive, but also Sprout is going to be able to lock things down as the Gale. I think it's actually a very strong comp here from Rising Sun Esports, who have played the draft very, very well, and they start to push forwards now, take the more authoritative position. Tensai can't quite connect here as well. An early wall from Aaron, a great wall at that, and it's also going to eradicate a lot of that bush. So a fantastic flying start here for Rising Sun.
I honestly wouldn't be shocked if Rising Sun and Zeta Zero pulled a prank on us and just all name changed in the middle of this, because their gameplay is completely reversed. This is Rising Sun in the lead by far. And also, look at Aaron popping down the Sprout wall to break open some of the bushes. He's going to do it again to shut down Tensai. This looks on the surface like an outdraft by Rising Sun Esports, and these are all brawlers being played by Zeta Zero that they're comfortable with, but it's not paying off at all.
Bhai, one chang is 70-80s.
Not just from how he's been placing,
not just 70-80.
These shots is Aaron. It has been remarkable watching him play, but here comes the jump in by a Choppy, and Zeta Zero absolutely have to clutch up here. It's looking quite unlikely, especially as Ryohi marches in. He has a super ready to go. There is a super available to Sprout too, but Zeta Zero pushed up very, very far. Just a single kill though will put down the entire push, and if he can force Tensai back, that'll do it too. But health is going to be a vital resource to Rising Sun Esports, and it looks like they got it on lock.
Oh, by 20/91.
Carl voice line from Tensai there. Could have been more fitting. Oh, no. I mean, it's very rare.
Oh, 27-98. So to khada hi hona hai sir.
Almost zero on the zone, but now they are recollecting themselves. I mean, if they can bring this,
Oh, bas wahan khada hoga, khatam ho jayega.
I'm sure with a bit of push potential here, Rising Sun can do it. But at the moment, the way that Zeta Division 1 Zero are playing this, it's pitch perfect. They are locking everything down so tight, and
bas khatam.
pushback there from the Gale, finishing things off very nicely done. But yeah, I feel like this draft was very, very good here for Rising Sun, and if they continue on with that same amount of control and that flying start which they had, I think this could well be a set going their way.
It looks like what lent it, the victory to Rising Sun there was their ability to so quickly lock down mid off the beginning of the game. And once Zeta Zero was in play, there was no way for Rising Sun to take back control. They simply needed to walk onto the point, and there was, almost 50% picked up by Zeta Zero in the time that it took Rising Sun to pick up 15%. And they had a Gale. They had the ability to push people off the point. They had Aaron with his hedge as well that can lock things down. In fact, he's going to do it again. Very aggressive play here. Zeta Zero off the first push have gotten a nice 28%, nearly a third of what they need. Here comes the freeze frame too. We won't see too many shots being wasted on the freeze frame either. Good use of resources, but still, the ego is so strong, and it's going to enable Zeta Zero to take back control of mid. Rising Sun Esports, they weren't quite able to match what Zeta Zero put out on the initial push, and that might be the story of the entire game. Down goes Tensai, but likewise does Wahochi, and it's a 2v2 once again.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful ego, and look at how much momentum that's shifted over to Zeta Division 0 now. Tensai in a good spot, but he is outnumbered. He can go for the Sprout here with Aaron, but ultimately, Wachi is absolutely waiting and ready for it. But now everyone on the side of Rising Sun very, very low here. The Gale coming in clutch though. Is there going to be a gadget potential? Not going to happen, but so low here. Look at this left-hand side lane. Rashi and Kuro just trying their best, but not going to happen. It looks like, for me, that Zeta Division 0 might be able to bring this one back, and that's going to make things very, very interesting going into this next game. Surely now just going to wrap things up and try to just suppress things further. If Rising Sun can bring this back, it will be phenomenal, got to say.
It would be remarkable. It's going to come down to whether Tensai can lead the charge or Kuru can get a super. Choppy might be able to get a super himself, but he's going to be locked into this right side for a little bit. He's going to get the slow as well. And Aaron can sit on this point for a little bit longer, but he's one-man army. He'll be able to push off Tensai for just a little bit longer, but the health pool is just too much for Wahochi to be able to deal with. The Choppy now marches into 99 to 76. That's a lot closer than I thought the scoreline was going to be after seeing such an explosive start by Zeta Zero, but it took them a little bit of time to warm up in the last game, and Rising Sun proved that they're not a one-trick pony. They're not just the guys that rush in at the beginning and hold on to control. They can take it back too, and they can shut down the Carl, even though a couple of their brawlers are pretty hard countered by it. We'll see what the approach is for this time from Zeta Zero. Already a rush in by Tensai. He's going to get pinched if he's not careful. Aaron picks up the kill. Kuro with the bat cap too. Wahochi all the way slowed down. Almost a free kill by a Choppy, but he's able to retreat just soon enough. Still, he remains on very low health. Here comes Tensai once again to lock down the lane, get a little damage around the wall if possible. Aaron needs good value off of this super, and he won't be able to lock anyone back into those bushes, but he will cover the retreat for Zeta Division 0.
Tensai, yeah, he's going to come back from that. But before then, he was flying, and I was surprised he was able to survive as long as he did. Now, Kuru, and we're actually just trying to duel it out, and it's going to be Kuru who takes it. 61, 63 now % on the zone, and pushing forwards now. Freeze frame surely coming in here. Well, the Gale knockback will just serve to some avail, but it is Rising Sun that are very much on the back foot now. So much work to be done, and the comp that started things off with such a strong draft now looking to show some of the cracks within it as, yeah, Zeta Division 0 under that start just turn it around so convincingly, and that's going to be another set going their way. 2-0 now. What a big blow. That's gonna feel deep for Rising Sun.
In the same line of logic, we can apply that in the reverse direction. Tensai, look how he wasn't smiling so much anymore. That was actually quite a challenging set for Zeta Division 0, and Rising Sun knew exactly where to hammer down those pain points as well. It seemed like they did such a good job of pretty much thinking ahead and always staying one step ahead of Zeta Division 0 in that first game. In fact, they deconstructed their entire rollout within just a few seconds and got themselves to 85% just off of that initial push. Rolling back the footage too, you can see Rising Sun Esports, they're feeling pretty confident about this one. 1% acquired by Zeta Division 0. They did a phenomenal job of denying the supers to Kuru as well. Tensai was able to get good value off of the free gadgets and did get a handful of nice supers in there as well, but I gotta say, the Bell play, I think, really got the opportunity to shine through in game number 1 and never really impressed us beyond then. The reason being that Zeta Division 0 did a good job of getting pinches and not leaving Kuru alone on this matchup where he's outranged.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal start for Rising Sun. They just got so much value early on, but it just seemed like Zeta Division 0, that flying hook going in early, just realized that that was the potential weakness to the idea and just slowing the pace down. Rising Sun then were just struggling, I feel, a lot of the time to be able to push out of the spawn areas as a team. And that was something which they were able to exploit quite successfully too. Moving on then to our next map, it's going to be Sneaky Fields for Brawl Ball. One that I feel like the bans are going to be crucial for Rising Sun here if they want to hang on to things and, you know, ban the Carl, ban the Max. I mean, you kind of got to start there. Squeak here as well. I feel like it's going to be right up there in terms of those bans. And at the same time, though, you know, there could be some interesting ideas from both teams here when it comes to maybe trying to eradicate some of the bushy areas. You know, that's going to be quite key here. But I feel like aggression, speed, all these things combined here in Sneaky Fields is going to be the way to victory.
And in terms of bans as well, let's not forget Ems, an amazing first pick that is going to be a great asset to whatever team is able to pick it up. Not just as a first pick, but also as a second pick too. It all depends on whether Carl is able to make it through the draft alive. He doesn't benefit from the bushes as much as some of the other brawlers, but still, Carl is Carl. Carl shapes the draft. Carl prevents you from imitating brawlers that have dominated the meta for quite a while now. The reason we talk about Ems, and I think it's a good way to express how and why draft works the way it does, is because you can go for completely different builds for Ems depending on what your enemy picks. Because recall, you get to pick your star powers and gadgets after the draft ends. So if you want to hold control, you pick Hype instead of Bad Karma. If you are playing versus a thrower and you're not going to be facing close range brawlers, you pick Acid Spray over Friend Zoner. It's a beautiful thing that you can do with draft, and it's also why Ems and others, where they have pretty different builds that you can go for, are such great first picks. And on Sneaky Fields, Ems reigns supreme. She can use speed gear and be all over those bushes.
I'm gonna shut down your theory here, ready, set, because I was on pounding the other day, and it's gonna be definitely a top pick for sure. But and hear me out on this one. BB with speed gear and home run star power is so good here. I don't know whether we're gonna see it. It's kind of like a bit of an out there idea, but it shut me down so hard and made me rethink like how maybe things might be shifting that way. And we have seen, Zeta, play BB in the past. I just don't know whether today will be that day. The bans, however, are in. It's going to be Surge, Carl, and Squeak. And I think that's fair to say that Carl and Squeak had to be banned here. Leon, Janet, and Squeak for Rising Sun. I think Janet is a very worthy ban here as well, especially with that drop the base gadget, being able to have such a wide radius of damage control to be able to, show up your opposition in those areas of mischief. Very good bans for me, I feel. But draft will be coming in shortly. We'll talk you through it as it does come through. There are a great deal of options here, I feel, for both sides, though. I think that especially with the amount of bushy area that is in the map, having things that can really kind of like juke their way forwards and place that aggression. Again, we did see a great deal of brawlers that can really additionally add to those tankier ideas with the healing side. I just don't know whether we're going to see it. It's a very daring idea to go it here, BB, but if you're watching the stream and you're just kind of wanting some ideas for Power League, if you've got an Ems in that early pick station, go for the BB. It's so good here. But I think we'll probably see it more so on the side of something like STMN and EMEA, that the Skyrax would absolutely go for it here. But the Surge ban as well, I really vouch for. I think Surge can be a very dominant force, and especially when you're able to basically instantly gain that stack just by capturing someone unawares. Ban so far to me looking very good.
Yeah, Surge here is going to be one that would pose a lot of issues were he in play. The reason being, you can pop the gadget, walk in, tank a shot, 1, 2, 3, instantly. You have your first stage, and as long as you're running speed gear, which you should, by the way, then you're going to have so much speed, and you can dominate a lane simply by walking back and forth and timing your shots carefully, and also playing against your enemies, or I guess playing kind of with your enemy's rhythm as well, trying to catch them at the points where they're at the edge of their range, because you can afford to take some damage. Your super means absolutely everything, and then once you get in close range, you stomp on them with it. Obviously not going to be in play, but it's not just a Carl counter, and I think that that Carl ban in tandem with the Surge ban could raise some eyebrows, because typically he's nowadays only played as a counter to that particular brawler. No, I totally side with it. And Arc, I am a fellow BB enjoyer as well. Love that brawler, always have. She's had some rough spots in the meta in, I suppose, the past couple of years, but with the shield, she's proven to be an amazing asset, and Zeta in particular showed us how it worked, and now we've seen it around the globe. People emulate Zeta because they simply define the meta. Here we have the Ems play on the right side, though, and that is going to be slowing things down versus a Choppy, just playing for control here, playing with a whole lot of speed too. On the left side, though, Tensai gets an amazing start. Already 1, 2 shots on Aaron. A third one is all he needs to potentially lock this brawler out. And here's the pass up to the right side. Choppy is going to be able to walk almost right. No way he's able to throw that through Wahochi. That has got to be the best pass through an enemy I've ever seen.
So clutch. So tight to get that angle, but this is what Zeta Division Zero do so well. Let's see on this right-hand side, Chappie gets knocked back by the friend zone, but does actually pick up the positioning power, and the takedown pass from Kira could be good here, and it does connect with a Chappie. Can he get it? He's got it. It's as simple as that. We're already we're already at match point as quickly as that. Completely forgot about the roughs, by the way. Fantastic brawler to have here, and being able to time things so successfully to break through, but it wasn't even needed. That's the thing. Like, they didn't even need to break the cover, because Zeta Division Zero just, I mean, it was just over before you could blink.
Zeta Zero, can we like roll back, slow it down a little bit? I want to savor this one. We're already at a match point. It doesn't even feel like it. It's been so fast, but leave it to Zeta Zero to make it happen. Though we have seen a pretty strong start by Rising Sun Esports this time. Ryohei is in the middle of spawn. He's going to pop a friend zoner a little bit early, but he has to keep control, and he's going to be staying high and dry. The Kuru does manage to break through the super. Aaron also going to get a close call, but still a kill in the end. Wahochi looking for value versus a Choppy. The speed gear makes everyone so ridiculously fast that this mid fight is so inconsistent. As long as a Choppy is careful about which walls he breaks open. No way, Aaron finds an opening. That's going to be the first goal for Rising Sun. And remarkable stuff, I gotta say. Rising Sun Esports are playing a lot more aggressive this time, and it's lending itself to a whole lot of profit.
Really unsure about that turret there. Baron, though, just went down instantly, and let's see now whether Kuru can defend. I do like the fact he's running Fertilized. Actually, we got some great value from it when he was under pressure from the M's. Now, chance for Zeta Division 0 to get out of the spawn area and try to get themselves a goal. But if Aaron gets his turret, that's going to be a really tough thing for them to deal with. They want to make sure that they can get their positioning power back into their control and gain some more authority over things. And there is the turret going down, and Chappie is going to have a lot of struggling against that and the Barley here, but doing so well, healing up accordingly, and now in a much better place. My word, how does Zeta Division 0 do it?
Wow. It's insane. Maybe they have Kuru running vision gear or something, but it seems like they have such a good comms on where the enemies are. Rising Sun Esports is going to be forced to bring back the backline just a little bit further. Ryohei does go down. That is going to sting as well. Aaron getting pinched super hard, but he will survive. In fact, he gets the kill on a Choppy. Another pass up to Aaron could mean a goal, but he does have to retreat as Tensai rolls up to the fight once again. And with this supply drop on the top left side, Tensai might go for it. And he did get a little aggressive. Didn't expect Ryohei on the right side, and you can thank the speed gear for that one, as that enabled him to so quickly push up. Doesn't look like Zeta Zero are going to be able to get this goal onto the enemy side in time, not in a 1v2, and that is going to be a victory for Rising Sun Esports, prolonging the match point.
It is a start, but are Zeta Division 0 about to finish? That's the question. Rising Sun, though, have had a little hand of grace here. And I think for me, Zeta Division 0, they need to do what they did in the first game. Because ultimately, as soon as the penny starts to gain that turret, and if you can push through into the mid and keep Zeta Division 0 back, then that's like the fourth brawler as far as I'm concerned. Lovely little takedown there. That's going to deny Tensai realistically here of an opportunity to be able to make something of it on the left-hand side. Chappie will choose to break, and that's a bold move. It's going to still leave enough push on the right-hand side for him to be able to adequately get from the top and bottom side to the top side on that right. But let's see here. Chappie pressurizing the situation. Ball, though, in a bit of a paralyzed position. If they can really get this pinch on here, Zeta Division 0 could have a fantastic shot on the goal, and the cover's now broken. I feel like Rising Sun here, despite having that penny turret in a good spot, are under a lot of pressure.
Well, they'll finally get to corner the ball. It was about 20 seconds dedicated to just trying to corner the ball, and a Choppy alone was holding back Aaron and Ryohei, but they have managed to do it. In the process, they have lost a lot of boxes, and there goes the last healing herbal tonic from Wahochi too, which generally acts as a free push, and this time they were all used on defense. Another super down from a Choppy, and this left side is going to be the only side that Wahochi can operate on, and the entire time he's going to be facing versus Tensai, who is always going to diff him in this matchup. Down goes Wahochi. Tensai going on the greatest flank of all time. A jump over as a Choppy looks to clear the way for a goal. A pass to Kuru is going to be enough to tank the damage, and Zeta 0 will get their first goal with a minute on the clock.
Wow, now the pressure really is on, and can Rising Sun bring this back? It's a decent amount of time to do so, but so much pressure. They've been in grand finals before. They know how this goes. Haven't got a win at one yet, though. That's the only thing. As Aaron approaches now, Kuru, full HP, has got a bit of an advantage, but Barley super as well. Last call going in. Ball is now pocketed. 30 seconds on the clock. Not much time now, as now Zeta Division 0 starts to push forwards. The team wipe is there, and all that control, all that mid space to work with. Rising Sun are going to have to really do a lot of work to get this ball out. I just don't see it happening. Ready, set.
Grammarly helps you work more efficient.
Impossible, but Rising Sun Esports are going to try and do it. They're already trying to take down the final boss of the entire Brawl Stars world right now. Down goes a Choppy, but likewise does Aaron. That ball is inaccessible. Tensai jumps into Rio. He throws him some sunglasses too, and that is going to be the victory for Zeta Division 0. Zeta 0 are your monthly finals champions here in East Asia. Congratulations. And Tensai, now he's going to take a deep breath and he's going to watch the sunrise. I don't know if he's posing or he's just, this is just another day in the life of Tensai. I wouldn't be shocked at either.
Looking calm as a cucumber, as we say in the UK. But you'd expect nothing less from a team like Zeta. They are just honestly so humble, so calm and collected, so, so unable to be stirred, I think is the best way to put it, especially like in a LAN environment when you see a lot of teams that kind of like, will give it a lot of talk and a lot of noise. Zeta Division just stay humble, stay quiet, and just get the job done. Great from them today, and the question was, I think for me at least coming in today, was whether it was going to be Zeta Division 0 or 1. Not to rule anyone else out, but so far that is pretty much the type of this region, it's fair to say. And
hello Nishka, what's up?
Absolutely love
back to Brawl Stars. हाँ मैं थोड़ी खेल रहा हूँ, ये तो टूर्नामेंट चल रहा है.
In first place, I'm not too sure, we'll have to wait and see, but they are flying through at the moment, and no matter what way you look at it, closing the gap on their own organization. But a great day for them, and they'll be very, very proud of their performance, I'm sure.
Once more, just want to say this is insane gameplay from every single team that has played today. We've seen so many stories develop, so many teams improve during the downtime, and Zeta Division 0 more than anyone has risen to the challenge. So congratulations once more to them, and welcome back, Trav. It's been a phenomenal day, and what a finale.
I'm pleased to be joining you guys again, but I'm just awaiting this absolute roast that I'm going to be getting right now. Rising Sun, you let me down. Come on.
I'm sorry, Trav. I mean, almost as sorry as seeing you, back on the screen. I tried, but it wasn't to be. But yeah, a flying grand finals for sure, and we're gonna have the player of the day in shortly as well. And ready, set, maybe you can talk us through this one. It was an absolutely insane moment to watch, and one that I thought.
Yes.
It was wonderful stuff. We saw Blood Diamond carefully defending here. A great pull on Rio. He almost seemed to.
मैं अभी नहीं खेलता हूँ Brawl Stars. इतना मजा नहीं आता. मैंने भी Brawl Stars छोड़ दी. अब बेकार लगती है. मुझे भी अच्छी नहीं लगती. कभी-कभी खेल लेती हूँ. मन मारती. अरे. आराम से खेलिए. अगर अच्छा लगे तो खेलिए, नहीं तो कोई दूसरा गेम खेलिए. और कोई अच्छा गेम होता हमको भी बताइए. हम भी खेलेंगे. वैसे तो फिलहाल अभी मैं BGM आया हुआ, Apex Legends हुआ, ये सब गेम ज़्यादा खेलेंगे अभी फिलहाल.
But Rising Sun Esports, man, what a show they put on for us today.
There's a reason why I threw it to you there, Ready Set, because I knew that Trevor would have found some way to make it out like Blood Diamond did some phenomenal play. Did lose it after that, but it was such an incredibly clutch moment as well. But the bracket for today, looking back through it, Zeta Division 0 obviously were the story of the day. What a day and what a breeze it was for them, except of course that semi-final stage where Zeta Division 1 gave it all they had. And I felt like it could have genuinely gone either way going into that fifth and final set. But I still really gave a lot amount of promise moving forwards to Sunny and New Face. I feel like they had some great drafts and some great awareness of the meta, but sadly didn't quite come out on top against Rising Sun and Zeta. But Blood Diamond, Trav, I mean, what a day for them, right?
I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was better than you expected, I'll tell you that. They got to the semi-finals, losing against Rising Sun. Rising Sun played great today, just not really reflected it in that final scoreline, losing 3-0 against Zeta Division 0. But nonetheless, I think they played absolutely wonderful today. Same with Blood Diamond and same with all the rest of the teams who did get defeated. Regardless, it's tough to face up against a team like Zeta.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's always going to be a tough one. I mean, Zeta are just the giants of this region, and again with double points now, yes, there is that opportunity for teams that are falling behind.
Call of Duty Mobile से कल खेलोगे क्या COD? कल तो शायद Apex Legends खेलेंगे.
That are able to.
क्योंकि अभी खेला था.
I do worry.
COD तो कल ही खेला था.
Division 0 and Zeta Division 1. As Reddit pointed out earlier today, have just continuously faced off against each other. Every single month we've seen a Zeta v Zeta match, and it's becoming more and more that case of which of the Zetas is going to take it. And since MSI, I think many of us maybe coming in today felt like, surely Zeta Division 1 going to continue that momentum off that huge MSI win and take it. But this competition is now neck and neck. We've had 2 monthly final wins for Zeta Division 0 and 2 monthly final wins for Zeta Division 1. So it's getting close. But I mean, let's take a look at the leaderboards to see as well how things are shaping up to be in this.
Oh भाई, leaderboard देखा जाए तो first पे Zeta Division 1, second पे Zeta Division 0, भाई 3 point का difference है मात्र.
Zeta Division 0. Wow. Rising Sun, though, a great day for them. It's got to be said, in 3rd place and not far behind. Zeta Division 0 definitely, as well as Zeta Division 1, going to have to continue their reign in order to defend them off. Blood Diamond, though, Trav, look at that. 4th place. That's not bad, is it?
We're moving. Up into 4th. That's not bad at all. But yeah, I mean, like, it's these double points really just shows how much it really does affect. In Zeta Division 0, they've won 2, but they also lost in the quarterfinals twice. Zeta Division have won twice, got to the finals and the semis, and are only 3 points ahead.
I knew you'd be pleased. I knew you'd be pleased. But got to be said, winning sponsors still doing very, very consistent work as well, and I'm sure many others as well we'll see in the future monthly finals to come. It's a fantastic region to watch, honestly, and I just feel like up against the Zetas in this region.
So finally, Zeta Division 0 जीत चुकी है.
Up against some of the other regions, because I think that they would be
0 से हरा दिया.
stand a lot of heat, and of course we'll have EMEA coming up later today, so stick around for that. Not long to go for that one. Ready, sets? We're going to have the global leaderboards up very, very shortly. I'm curious to see and hear your thoughts on how things are shaping up around the globe. But what are the teams to beat in other regions? What are the teams that really stand out and shine to you across the entire competition?
If I had to pick a single team that we didn't see at MSI but has been completely rocking the global scene, it's got to be Reply Totem. These guys are looking very fearsome. They recently picked up a player by the name of Dark Joker, and his
चलो guys, चाहते हैं
Maru and Mari at their side, their coach Inso. Just such a
वैसे भी ये लोग already जीत ही चुके हैं.
World spot. We didn't get to see that in them at MSI, so there wasn't even the potential of seeing them face off versus Zeta. But I'm curious to see how that.
Chalo guys, this was it for this stream. I will see you guys once again later on with another stream, another game. Till then, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new here, and we'll see you guys once again in our night stream with another game. Till then, have fun and peace out. Bye bye, take care, and see you once again in about 4 hours, I guess, if electricity and internet is there. तब तक के लिए bye bye, peace out, and bye bye.